Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fnatic's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 'Fnatic's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Witch Doctor. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. You may now select your heroes.
Looking good. Your anger is here.
Feeling good, man.
Prepare for battle.
Keep spamming out. I think it's the worst taunt in the entire game. It's like some not
Your
call it
anger is
8-bit, but it's some like reject shopped level taunt with the audio coming out from it.
See, that's what I said as well. How is that the most expensive pawn in the game right now? It just doesn't make any sense. Oh well, we'll live with it. Good to see both teams gnawing their hearts out as well.
See you later, nerds.
Goodness gracious, Papa Ball! Quit him in the
So Fnatic are going to try and set up this, maybe a top first blood here at that first bounty room. Do have DJ scouting around there on the tiny, trying to see if anyone's going to run down, but nobody's hanging around there from Geek
30 seconds.
Everyone's just prepared to go for the bottom bounties instead, so it looks like they won't really interact with each other quite yet. I guess maybe you could have gone after Carl in that mid lane DK, but he's also backing off now.
Yeah, and we could see both of the supports were down on the bottom side of the map previously. We're just doing some observer ward scouting right now on Whitemon. Sure that it's not on the right side of the tier 1 tower mid. Give a potential bit of information that it is going to be on the left. It's yeah, very passive start to the game. 2 bounty runes from each side.
That it is. I was a bit surprised though, I must admit. I thought it was going to be a mid Void Spirit, but Cuckoo takes it. He's in the off-lane Void Spirit, which is quite interesting to me. You think this is the way to play it? Because you are going to be lacking a lot less levels and farm, I'd say, on this Void Spirit.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit of an issue. And, well, I suppose it is that sort of flashy style that he does like to play, so it can work in that way. If they were going for this, though, I'm a little surprised they didn't change the lanes up a little bit. Maybe throw Cuckoo into that Timber Source so that you can, again, do a lot of that magic damage to him.
Yeah, absolutely. They're even running a bit of a tri-lane right now at that bot lane. It's like they will finally TP out, so one does go up top.
He makes that rotation, wanting to take as much advantage, like we were thinking before, of Ice before he hits onto that level 2 or level 3 and is able to move around a little bit. It's going to be tough, given that DJ is pulled through this creep wave behind the tier 1 tower. Push down onto him as they can, though.
So that they are. A lot of damage. Ice, can you survive? No, you cannot. That's the way to play up against the Timbersaw, right? Those early levels, you've got to go at it fast.
Absolutely.
Good start there for Geek there. Having a look at that mid lane as well, you'll see Carl up against Moon on that Storm, but that should be a much more even kind of trading lane, I'd say. Neither one should die too early on, Moon, though. Pulling ahead on the Storm thus far. Carl actually falling a little bit behind. Should be able to catch up fairly soon now. I do get a little bit afraid again for Geek fan when you think about Moon Storm, though. He, quite scary on this hero if he's given too much space.
Yeah, scary if given a lot of space, and none of their stuns are instant. You know, everything. Well, Void Spirit's in a bit of trouble actually on this bot side. He's validated up.
Face down, does he pop out? No, he'll be fine for now. I believe he should survive through the rest of the damage. Tango will regen him up, but he does bring a salva now on the courier. That's the thing as well, that off-lane Void Spirit, it's kind of like you can't secure farm safely. You've got a Witch Doctor there with a Luna, so they've got plenty of damage to pump out. And every time Cuckoo gets close, this happens. Paralyzing cast with Lucid Beams. This time they don't have the element. In fact, they just try and turn around now. Jabs, he could be in trouble. They will get the Ace of Remnant to lock him in with the Resonant Pulse, and Jabs will end up dying. Savage still trying to go up there for Zephyr, but he may have overextended. He will back off.
Yeah, he'll be fine. They wanted to make sure they got that extra use of the Shadow Poison off on Zephyr, and maybe punishing this a little bit by the Witch Doctor, the fact that he's gone into a circlet instead of getting that magic stick, realizing that it is a position for Zephyr.
Not today.
Well, Fnatic in the bot lane, they just want to slow down a bit in terms of aggression. They will go for that clarity cancellation there onto Zephyr, at least with the coconut. Top lane Ice. Looks like he's reached level 3 now, so he's kind of getting to that point where he's not going to be as killable in that top lane. Moon gets Carl's courier.
Yeah, he doesn't mind that much. We can see DJ is rotating down towards this bottom side. They're going for a kill onto Cuckoo.
They are. Avalanche going to be out with the Melodic. Down the toss back onto Cuckoo. Savage going to be a little bit careful with all that shadow poison. No, Zephyr. He needs 1 or 2 more. He can't get it. And now DJ, he's going to chase him down. They have the Lucid Beam. Zephyr should be dead here. Or maybe not. Do they have anything to throw out? DJ, no mana for a toss. We'll just have to let the kill go. And Zephyr will barely survive. But Cuckoo going down on that Void Spirit.
Yeah, a little bit short on the mana to be able to follow up on that one with DJ, but you know, we saw the power of that ability to rotate, right? As soon as Ice is level 3, suddenly he can get an extra 12 stacks of armor, which is just insane, and he's not worried about dying in the same way as he did at level 1.
Absolutely not. They're going to try again onto Savage though. Savage going to be falling low at Luna. He'll barely I say that, the illusions were still chasing, but he is going to be okay. Zephyr? Maybe not though. Does get tossed up in the air. DJ does secure the kill, and now, well, Cuckoo, he's going to try and harass out DJ a little bit, but ultimately we'll just kind of be stuck in leaving him alone. And I hate to point it out, but Cuckoo's still level 3.
He is. Got a nice toss coming through there from Jabs.
Melody not being used. They'll leave him be. He'll run away again, but you're basically the same level as this Tiny almost. DJ's almost level 3. Jabs is over leveling or out leveling Cuckoo.
That's what happens when you get a whole bunch of kills, even with a little bit of a tri-lane going on in your lane, and yeah, it just feels like Cuckoo's being pressured out a little bit. That's why I was a little surprised with the fact that this Void Spirit was being put into this offlane. You know, you don't have the inherent tankiness. You don't want to build into the Dissimulate early on because it doesn't help all too much in the form of farming. You don't have the mana pool to be able to cast 3 different spells at that stage of the game, and yeah, you're just not tanky like a Dragon Knight is, where you can just stand in the middle of a wave.
Could be disastrous for them later on if he can't catch up here on this Void Spirit. He's still just struggling. He's got a creep wave by the tier 1 tower now at least. Meanwhile, Moon is trying to dish out some damage here onto Carl. We are having DJ also rotate in. Which I believe, yeah, Carl can't actually see this. DJ is still out of vision. But this could be a nice easy kill there onto Carl. I don't believe you have enough of the Avalanche toss here.
No, just
you
one.
Probably won't.
I mean, he could, you can see he's maybe going for the rune, hoping he's going to luck out with something, and that's why DJ's in the space as well. I think maybe with this space, it's unfortunate that he doesn't see DJ, but the best he can probably do is use his magic stick, breathe fire, and just run back underneath the tower if he can.
I suppose so. See if he can survive this. I wonder what DJ does though. Like, what do you opt for? If you only are left with one ability, do you just toss back or do you avalanche?
It depends who you're going up against. I think the fact that it is Cuckoo, yeah, he's trying for that movement back. He's going to use the Dragon Tail instead, so perfectly fine as well, but in the process, Moon's going to be able to grab this bottle Invis rune, and, well, we start to see some rotations coming through shortly. No, they actually give it over to DJ instead. I
like that. They give him the Invis. He has now enough mana for the Avalanche toss combo, and he's waiting around mid again.
But they saw that happen. That's the thing. With this Observer Ward, he saw that bottle exchange was going on, and so he could play, Carl could play a little bit more defensively.
Well, that's problematic now for DJ. We'll see if he can find a way in. I don't think the level 1 Avalanche toss is going to be enough anyway. Just regen way too much HP, but now the Vortex comes in, DJ will show himself, but the Dragon Tail is there.
Nice Dragon Tail.
The coconut, and yeah, DJ, he may just be dead here. They're trying to get vision with the Shadow Poison. DJ's still trying to make a run for it. Wyman on the chase, trying to get that Nightmare off. Can he get in range? Not quite. DJ will be on the run.
He's pretty speedy with those Tranquil Boots. Nice job to actually interrupt the regen and the speed from them by Whitemon, but I'm going to be able to catch this guy.
I really don't either. Avalanche now, there just seems no way they can actually get him. and he'll just keep wasting time. Meanwhile, mid lane, Carl is going down a Moon, although Moon does have to back off because he was underneath that tier 1 tower, and now Zephyr is going to rotate in, but DJ's TP'd out of there. He's gone. He's back down to the bot lane now.
I'm liking this pressure being put onto Moon, though, by Zephyr, in a similar way to the Timbersaw being pretty self-sustainable. You feel like Gyrocopter is too. He's not in too much danger of dying. He can always last hit from a relatively safe range, and the skill boot that he's got is pretty versatile.
Cuckoo in the bot lane. He ends up dying again. He's still at that level 4 mark on the Void Spirit. DJ just making the rotation down after escaping the top lane. I do agree with you. I do like the pressure there on some Moon.
Tower is under attack.
That is who they appear to be focusing on, but their side lanes may not be working out that well right now if this keeps up.
The fact that they were able to protect this DD rune is enormous. You can tell that Moon would be wanting to make some sort of rotation go on at that time. He might even still do it. You know, he's walking all the way back to base. He's going to refill up his bottle. Could just come straight back to mid because he's got the support duo of DJ and Jab sitting right here with him, and Ice making the rotation through as well.
Yeah, he's level 7, so he'll run in. Whiteman will go for the nightmare, but they just toss Ice back it onto Whiteman.
Even Savage is here.
Escape. Yeah, he's probably going to go down. Whiteman trying to go for the Roshan denied, but no. Ice will get the kill. Now Vortex through the mid lane. Carl, he pops the DD, but he already had both going. It just didn't matter. Trying to harass up good with that Dragon Tail and the Dragon Form. It's a lot of damage, but it will not be anywhere near enough. And with that, Fnatic will just secure 1 kill, and looks like they're going to try and push in that mid lane.
That DD coming through pretty impactful, but all of Fnatic rotated through to try and make something happen there, and at the end of the day, it was only Whitemon that ended up going down, and all that time Cuckoo has been starved for farm, but he's had about 2 creep waves. He's pushed the wave into the tower, so they're going to lose some valuable experience up here, and even the Gyrocopter is just sitting in the jungle the entire time, taking up these stacks, so bam, they've lucked out a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say so. Net worth going up quite nicely for Raven. Going straight to that Aghanim Scepter build and see if you can keep that up. Farm that is.
They haven't even made the rotation through yet to contest one of these outposts. Geek fam are going to get both.
Uh-oh. That's problematic as well here for Fnatic. What are they, well, they're prioritizing the tier 1 towers right now, but I'd have to say that XP is going to be pretty darn important here for the side of Fnatic. I'm not sure if you could really afford to give that away. Geek fam desperately needed the XP, they'll take it. The Fnatic just don't seem to care.
Riches.
I feel like they should. I mean, now Cuckoo's very close to picking up his level 7. He's getting a few of these. Oh, nice, getting the bounty rune as well. They're diving Zephyr underneath the tier 1 tower, but I think it's fine. You know, you're creating some space for your team. You're trying to push it out a little bit. It forces Savage back, and that extra 15 seconds can mean a lot, although they've got the siege creep here. I wonder if they're trying to make a play to defend this top side.
Tower is under attack.
They may. That smoke, I'm not sure if this is a good idea here for Raven though. With Whiteman coming in, Moon, he's going to be the target. They'll put the Nightmare on top. He does have mana to zip away, but the stun is going to be there immediately now with the cooldown and the Aether of Moon. He may just drop a stun, but Raven will die as well. Now Cuckoo's jumped in, going after Jazz, a great actual step, but Whiteman's falling low. Savage, he's just trying to survive, but no, disruption's there from Zephyr. It was a great rotation up from Geek fam. They do lose Raven, but a 1-for-3 trade. You can't complain about that.
Absolutely not. And even there, the Cuckoo rotation able to make a lot of work. He's only got the 2 points into the Resonant Pulse because he was having such a hard time in the lane that he just had to make sure he at least secured those range creeps.
Nice. However, mid lane is going to go ahead and take down that tier 1 tower. No real contention there for him. I guess that's the one positive for Fnatic now. They did get that very, very valuable mid-tier 1, and the top tier 1 for that matter. Whereas if you look at the Geek fam, they haven't actually gotten 1 tower yet. I suppose Carl is now setting up on that DK down at the bot lane to try and start forcing that tower in a little bit. But DJ is going to be there to defend this.
He is, and well, as we were expecting, we could see Raven, he's building up into that Ag Scepter early on. It's 12 minutes and he's already half the way there, so doing a decent job. Getting some assistance from his team with these stacks, and he's in clear first position on that network, even farming the mid lane at the same time as this neutral camp. Nice efficiency there.
That it was. That it was. He'll definitely have the axe up soon. Bot lane, however, Geek Fam, they're grouping up once again. Cuckoo's got the double damage. We do see Ice just straight TPing into all of them within vision. Carl will try and fight back now. Ice doesn't really have... Oh, he does have a lot of reactive armor, in fact. Never mind that. He's just going to tank this creep wave, try and defend this tier 1 tower. You've still got DJ around the corner. They're going to jump in there with Cuckoo, but Cuckoo has to be careful. It's a lot of damage out. Avalanche toss is there. Ice still not going to go down, just running away. But the coconut out from Jabs will follow Cuckoo down and move. He has enough vision now to secure the kill on the Void Spirit and to zip out of there.
Let's stick it around on Geek Fam.
Yeah, Avalanche tossed it with a melody from Carl. They'll put a core down, but now the death ward out from Jazz. Forcing the nightmare off onto Carl, but now Raven could be in trouble. Move jumped in.
The coconut.
Disruption in just in the nick of time. Carl just about to fall the top. It will be enough there from DJ. Now Raven goes down as well. Zephyr's trying to run, but I don't think he's going anywhere. He's being blocked up by DJ. He's just trying to farm while he can. He knows he's not going anywhere. There we go. Downey's achieved as well. They'll keep going though. 8 remnant is out on DJ on that tiny, but he's fine. They're just going to walk out.
Yeah. Perfectly happy with it, and throughout most of that, Savage was farming away. So similar to what happened previously, you had all of Fnatic come to the mid lane, and with Geek Fam were farming. That time around, they even lost the team fight in a 5v4 situation, so disaster stations right now for Geek Fam.
That they are. Savage going straight for that Manta, going to have it up fairly soon at this rate. And that Gyrocops with the axe. It'll be soon. It's delayed for sure. He's just doing the same thing, farming that neutral camp plus mid lane. There is a thing with the gyro though, right? Where you need so much more farm than just the axe. Like we're talking BKB, we're talking Satanic. It gets kind of ridiculous how many items this hero needs to be effective.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it does enable that acceleration of farm, and like we were saying before, even if you do get full combo together with a Witch Doctor stun, a Storm Spirit stun, a Tiny Toss combo, if you've got that lifesteal with the Ags, you can at least lifesteal back a little bit of damage, especially if you get that flat cannon off beforehand.
That is true. Raven. And keep farming on the nations and more neutral camps. I believe he will have the gold player Ags in just a second.
Yeah, with bounties as well, he'll definitely secure. Ice, he's going for a bit of a play here.
I'm not going to latch him in though. Yeah, he won't be able to take the bounty off. Cuckoo there on the Void Spirit. They'll just kind of go back again. There's that axe we talked about on Raven. So whether they make a smoke rotation now, perhaps, and they will.
It's not terrible timing, 15 minutes is perfectly okay for the way that this game has gone. It's just, will they be able to do anything with it? Unfortunately, they're not going to catch out Savage while he's low, farming down on this bottom side of the map. Shin's been very defensive so far.
Yeah, that's not really the target they want, but they're just going to have to take it. He just stands there, just looks at him in the eye while they're taking him down. Bot lane, Ice has been split pushing though, so that may force Geek Fam to try and react to this. I guess if you are Fnatic, you don't really care that Jabs just died like that.
Yeah, and there's really not much they can do against Ice doing this as well, right? He's got the siege creep, so he's made the timing really effectively. And, you can toss a couple of shadow poisons there, Zephyr, but you're just going to farm for yourself. You're not actually going to prevent anything from happening.
Exactly what does happen. Ice now. He's just going to TP up top. He's going for a blade mail on that Timber, just trying to be a real menace in this game, and the rest of Fnatic, they have smoked up. They
Raven.
Straight into Raven. Blink is already there from DJ. Avalanche toss as well. Raven, can he survive this? He will get the rock barrage off, but it will be nowhere near enough. Jabs will be the one to secure the kill there on the Witch Doctor. So that's kind of how you get the smoke done as well. You find the Pulse 1. It's the most valuable target they could have asked for.
And even with Ice with that rotation up, he was still able to get efficiency out of the map, he was still able to farm it up, but he could have joined at any time just by a simple Timber Jane or two.
Dire's top
tower just forcing that team with tier 2 tower now. He's got the blade mail up just on the courier. No one to defend the tier 2 as of yet. Geek Fam, they're just going to try and force down that tier 1 bot tower. But this draft may be falling apart a little bit for Geek Fam, just considering how behind they are in
Dire's
objectives
top
right
tower
now in
is under
comparison.
attack.
That was their first tier 1 with the DK.
And you can tell that they're anxious to definitely take it, you know, popping the Elder Dragon form for a tower that's only at 15% or so. They were just so worried about the TPs coming through because the fact of the matter is Fnatic is so much stronger at them, at least before this Gyrocopter picks up his BKB and some lifesteal for himself.
Fnatic, they've smoked up again. Smoke will be broken. Lyman will be the one to break it, but they might be surrounded. This is to simulate now. Avalanche there from DJ. Lyman is going to try and walk off, but there's no way out of this. Does get tossed out back into Size while he's chaining away. Be another nice kill, and they will take back their outpost.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Not quite as slow.
They're still kind of sticking around. No, it looks like Cuckoo was just picking up a haste string. He'll be fine. Walk out of there. I'm just not sure if this is good enough from Geek Fam. Like, Savage is still farming really well as well, Matt Luna.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Whitemon picks up this Philosopher's Stone. He spent an entire Death Timer there with it just sitting in the base. There we go, finally picks it up. So, missed some of that passive gold during Death, but now he's going to be able to get a bit closer to, I suppose, Glimmer Cape. You know, it's going to get to a point where Moon isn't going to be able to carry that dust, and Ice won't want to either. So, if you're able to get off a save in that way, pretty damn effective.
Absolutely. This stage, like, what do you think Geek Fam need to be doing? Because it seems as though, you know, Raven's obviously just trying to secure farm on that Gyrocopter. That's fair enough, but the rest of the team just seems a little lost in what they're trying to achieve here. Like, Carl's in the mid lane trying to maybe push out that creep wave and pop the Dragon form again. There's just no confidence right now. They don't feel it.
Interested in why he's gone into the 2 points in the Dissimulate. I suppose it's a big increase in damage for this Void Spirit, but with all this aggression that Fnatic's been putting at you, I feel like the Resonant Pulse is the way to go, just to get that additional little bit of damage absorption. And he's got the Imp Claw as well, so you want to be able to do pop damage, basically, with that Astral Step. They found him.
Does zip in and it's like, what the hell is this? I zip back up. It was a bit of a fright there for the Storm Spirit, but he found everyone. Now
the Void Spirit.
DJ, Cuckoo, Nightmare going to be broken. He'll be fine to just get out of there himself. Looks like they'll just go back to securing farm on the map. Fnatic, they're in no rush. That was another smoke being kind of ruined there for Geek Fam. And unfortunately for... well, they lose pretty much every bounty rune if Moon wanted to go up top and get the rest. He's not for now, but no, he is. He's zipping it.
Whitemon's on a bit of a mission for him, but he might pay for it.
He may. And Moon will take that. So 4 bounty runes as well to Fnatic now, and that increases their net worth lead up towards that 7.5k mark.
Stupendous!
Getting a bit ridiculous now. Like with Geek Fam, you'd say they kind of want to be ahead in their farm with this kind of draft, but it's just not the case.
Yeah, no, not just yet. And you have to feel bad for poor Whitemon. It feels like he's getting caught out at the start of every single team fight. He's putting himself in some good positions to be able to, you know, tank up some smoke ganks, but because of that, and having to play so defensively, he's had to put more points into the Nightmare, where I feel like the Enfeeble would be really effective when you've got this Gyrocopter Void Spirit core combination.
Yeah, especially for that Timbersaw. You wouldn't mind seeing that, but he has not put 1 point in yet. No value at all. So Fnatic, they'll defend that top T1 with Ice. DJ's going to rotate back down to the mid lane. They're just waiting for another opening here from Geek Fam, who are trying not to give one away. Yeah. Carl's just trying to secure that BKB before going any further on this Dragon Knight.
It's the BKB on him as well as Raven. They should get it at a pretty similar timing though, so we can see it's essentially clumping everyone up and making sure that can happen. It's never good though when you've got your position 1 and 2 walking down towards the same lane to try and get the same farm.
No, that it is not. And that's just giving the rest of the map away to Fnatic. Ice. He's going to have a... going for a talisman of evasion, so I'm guessing he's working towards maybe the halberd now. Try it out. Savage. Just going to jump into that Roshan pit.
One BKB's done. And 2 are done and on its way out. So, and they actually scan out the Roshan. So this could be a huge fight for Geek Fam if they're able to take advantage of it. Although BKB finished up on 23 Savage right now. Power of information though. Will they know that this has happened?
Gonna blink in, going straight after Jazz. That Witch Doctor will be the first target. A nice consolation DJ, but not nice enough. They will lose the Witch Doctor. He'll buy back. Now Music's out onto Whiteman. That Bane falling very low. Does go down. Will of Zephyr also losing his life. Now where do they go though? Who can get DJ? It's a 3v3 situation. Chris has been popped there from Savage, but he's not feeling confident with those BKBs up. Eyesight size. He'll try to go after Cuckoo, but everyone is now backing off just slowly but surely.
Where's the party?
And now Moon looking to zip back in after the BKBs, but they have gotten out. So it looks like it's time to go back to the Roshan.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent team fight for Geek Fam, being able to dodge out a lot of these big ultimates coming through from Fnatic, as well as expending the buyback on Jabs, but they just don't have the mana pool on Cuckoo to make another go at it. So they're going to give up the Roshan anyway. Bit unfortunate, but I think a neutral trade for them, despite losing Roshan, isn't the worst thing that could have come out of that.
Absolutely not. It increases their net worth now to 8k. Is
Dire's middle tower is under
diving
attack.
into that behind that
Dire's
tier 2 tower and
structures are
seeing what he can see. By forcing down that tier 2 tower if they can. Especially with this Aegis on Moon, you're going to be feeling very, very confident.
They found out Timbersaw here, but that's probably the hero that you're happiest to have on the front lines.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Nightmare Fiends Grip available right now. They're just trying to bide their time to get through it without that. Eyesight is still alive. There's the Fiends Grip coming out, so now you can take him out. And Fnatic just never really jumped in. But he comes through. He wants to get started with that Eyesight Science. Avalanche Pop was there. Carl just forced the BKB now. And they'll just continue going after that tier 2 mid tower. They just seem unfazed by the Timbersaw dying. Yeah,
I mean, they're expending a ton of PKBs. That's already 2 used on Raven as well as Carl, so it's only the 1 so far used by Savage. No, he actually hasn't even used it once. So you're going to have the Roshan Aegis as well as the just overall teamfight effectiveness. That extra 2 seconds adds up in a big way, especially once you hit these later timings.
Absolutely. And Geek Fam now going to be feeling pressure to try and make something happen on their end of things again. They've got the Yules up now on Cuckoo, so at least you've got some setup there for that 8th remnant. Raven's still trying to work towards that Satanic and then Butterfly.
They found him.
Uh-oh. Good. Doesn't want to lose the Aegis like this. They don't have the Fiends Grip though. Cuckoo's still now moved to zip out.
It was a optimistic attempt there, just wanting to get the Shadow Demon Disruption perfectly comboed together with the homing missile, but you need to be some next level player for that to happen.
Well, DJ has the Yules up now as well. They're going to smoke up there with Savage. Savage looks to try and bait for his team, it seems. You mentioned as well, he does have that 10-second BKB charge, so plenty of time on that.
Making an aggressive play there. They need to get out right now on Geek Fam, and they do, so that's good. But he dropped the call down and got a 50-second cooldown. It's up to 90. They're trying to make stuff happen in the mid lane, and they do pick off Cuckoo. They've even got this creep wave pushing in. Tier 2 tower's going to go down.
It's just so easy for Fnatic right now, especially on the back of Moon, who can just set up for them every time. Yeah, Tier 2 tower gone. Double damage.
Got a DD. Yeah, Aegis, level 18, picked up with that Cuckoo kill as well.
They may just go high ground now. Carl trying to run away. Do they jump in? DJ, he does get the toss off. Carl will be forced to BKB once again. It is a defensive BKB, and there's this screwed up dipping in. He goes straight after Zephyr. Nightmare going to save for a bit, but Zephyr should ultimately die here, although no, he's not yet. Moon's run out of mana, but Eyesight Science, he will secure the kill on that Timber. And now the toss back again from DJ. Carl
he doesn't have BKB.
He does not have BKB. The eclipse does come in. He does buy back straight after. In fact, it was Zephyr who bought back. They do get DJ on the Tiny. Eyesight Side. The Savage is taking all this damage from the Gyrocopter. Making sure Savage gets down, and now Moon's dipping back in, still holding on to that Aegis. He is out of mana. Cuckoo is almost out of HP. Can't afford to die. He just bought back. He'll get out of there.
And it just shows a little bit of the impact of using that cooldown in a farming capacity. Maybe it's a bit of muscle memory coming through from Raven just saying, oh yeah, I could toss it out and then walk back. It's just being a bit more efficient, which he's shown throughout this game. But when they were pushing up onto that tier 3 tower, he didn't have it for 20 seconds. And so again, 23 Savage is able to get out without using a BKB once. And on this DK, it's down to 7 seconds. On the gyro, it's down to 7 seconds. It's not looking good for Geek fam.
No, it really isn't. Raven now is going to spot outside of down to that bot lane, but he's not really feeling too comfortable being here, or really shouldn't. Going to send a homing missile out. He'll make a bit of a chase actually, but eventually does give up on it. So he's just going to work toward that Eye of Skadi instead of going for that Satanic Butterfly now on that Gyrocopter. I'm just not sure if that's going to make all the difference here. Like, it helps you deal with the Timbersaw, for sure. But apart from that, whether it's really good or not, whether it's going to make the difference, that's where I'm kind of concerned here for Geek fam.
I guess he just wants to be able to live for that little bit longer. He's nearly reached his level 20, so he's going to get some extra movement speed to be able to reposition in these team fights.
Could be.
Accelerate his farm a little bit further, I suppose. On the rocket barrage damage, he wants to stand and fight.
Why not? So you've got to fight at some point. We are almost 30 minutes into the game.
Paladin Sword's real handy.
That it is. One of the most broken tier 3 item you can fight. However, Zephyr, Glimmercate, trying to run away, does go for a quick disruption there onto Moon and on the way out. Moon will back off as well. You don't have that Aegis available on Moon. It never really got used up. Just buy it over time and they may just wait for the next Roshan to try and make any form of high ground play and just continue just dominating the map. They are heading down bot lane with this 12k net worth lead to try and pick somebody off on Moon, zipping in. He needs to get to that tree line. One TP cancellation could do it. He couldn't get out in time. The avalanche toss is there. You don't quite find Raven, but you found something just as good. And now Savage goes into the mid lane after Carl. He has the Satanic up on the Luna. He's picking out as well. He wants help. They just don't have the mana to zip in.
No, that's the thing as well. With 23 Savage, he's happy to just stand here and fight. He's got a Satanic available.
DJ did jump in. Now Moon also going to come in. Zephyr, he's in big trouble. He will go down. A decent cooldown, however, with the beam through there on the Moon. We'll take down the storm. Carl, can you survive? He can. But how do you get Raven out of here? Wyman will definitely die on the Bane. One Nightmare should do it. Raven is out. The rest of Fnatic won't bother trying to chase the harder target. The Geek fam, they did find that mid-storm, but they lost 3 of their own in the process.
And it just shows you the effectiveness of that first BKB usage coming out from 23 Savage. He also had it comboed together with the level 20 that he picked up, so there was the threat of the Eclipse damage coming through. Pretty scary right now if you're on Geek Fan. They're just constantly playing on the back foot. You can see here Cuckoo, he's 6 levels behind Ice just because of constantly playing inside his side of the map.
Been rough for Cuckoo, that's for sure. Now mid-tier 3 tower now going to be under siege here. Savage is feeling very confident with that Satanic. Does get jumped on, but Cuckoo is just... He's blocking. He's not going to jump all the way. Just chipping away at that HP pool.
DJ's looking to make that sacrificial play again. Jump in onto the backlines, toss him back into him, but doesn't need to. They're able to just siege down that tier 3 on their own.
Absolutely, and there's no reason to stick around now. You know the Roshan should be coming up sometime soon. They'll just place a quick bounty off onto Raven's head before they do leave, and well, that Roshan, we find out in 1 second when it's going to be up, and it is it's 2.5 minutes. It's going to be a while.
Acquired a Tome of Knowledge onto our DK here, so he's hoping to reach up into his level 20, maybe just for a bit of additional survivability for himself. He's definitely playing in that way, or at least he used to, with that Dragon Scale being held, but want to lose the benefits of that Orb of Destruction that was previously on the Gyrocopter. This is keen. This is keen.
Comes out DJ. He did actually find him. No, they moved away. Carl, he went on to Moon. Now the Secret wants to get the Moon. He is actually just fine. The Secret is nothing. Now Wyman will go down. Raven also going to be in trouble. He'll just try and TP out of there with the BKB and will be successful in doing so. We'll keep zipping in. Ice giving the vision over. They'll miss out on Zephyr. Now Carl around.
Take a fight. They've still got this Elder Dragon form. They've found the Storm Spirit, but it's only Carl doing the damage.
Yeah, moves. He barely gets out of there alive. Zephyr does end up going down on the Shadow Demon, and now Savage does secure the kill on Sukuku with Lucent Beam. And, well, Raps, buybacks are flying out now from Geek Fan, but those glaives really do rip into the Raps quite quick. Blink in, a quick Lucent Beam out from Savage, that was fast. They did try to go onto Ice. He is so tanky, however, that Eclipse is doing so much damage, and Sukuku is going to die back immediately. They still try to go onto that Luna, but he just doesn't care. In fact, maybe he does now. And Iron Scotty kind of being a bit exhausted with his life still, though. Great heals off onto the DK. What are these reaction times? Carl, he's stuck up now. He's trying to get out of there. A great nightmare out from Wyman onto DJ, not allowing the toss back. Zephyr jumping back in, has to be very, very careful. Rax's arms still falling. Now Zephyr's getting jumped on with him. He's got the control. He will get the kill. They go back in. Raven, Heaven's Harbor, not allowing him to actually keep attacking this other team. Called out.
They could kill Storm.
They could. They do. Moon does die to the brain sap. In fact, it was just Raven with the auto attacks. Ice now being Nightman up. Fnatic gonna find a way out of this situation. Or maybe they just go back in.
Yeah, I don't think you're killing Ice, especially without that Shadow Demon and the Soul Catcher.
Why not? Just go ahead, clean up the racks, and it's time to back off now, but Savage has just bought himself a nice brand new Aghanim Scepter.
I mean, yeah, you just toss it onto the Timbersaw, right? And have him dive into the base.
One way to do it. Well, now Fnatic, they're a 19k net worth lead at 34 minutes in. It's kind of getting seemingly impossible for Geek Fam to catch up here. We might need to see something big like a Divine Rapier on this gyro.
We might. He's got it queued up as well as the Butterfly, so still in two minds somewhat about what he's going to go. Might look to pick up that Demon Edge now if he wants to be really ballsy about it. But, I suppose just wanting to hold that buyback.
Perhaps. You are going to need it, of course. Whether the buyback means anything, though, when you come back is a different story.
Under attack.
Just, he's not hitting hard enough. But, well, both teams, they are going to fight over that Roshan. It is up. That T1 here, Ice to the dive in by himself. He'll be slightly careful, but here comes DJ. Slow damage up onto Carl. Another beach rip by side.
He's still alive.
He is still alive. And Cuckoo is just trying to run away now. On that voice for the Savages on the chase. They'll nightmare him up. Now here comes Blue after Zephyr. No, he wants Raven. He'll force out the BKB. Still going forward. Trying to find another support. He will get Lightning. And that means Zephyr and Wyman are both going to go down. And that Roshan should be free for Fnatic to take now.
They finally got off a pretty decent Fiend script, but again, it just shows how unfortunate it is not having that Glimmer Cape against this sort of lineup. Able to safe range, just use the single Lucent Beam, and suddenly your ultimate is ruined by something that has a 2.5 second cooldown.
It's a problem. It is a real problem. It'll be an even bigger problem now that that Aegis is going to be up. I believe Moon will be taking it again on the store.
I think you should take the cheese as well, honestly. 23 Savage doesn't need anything like that to continue surviving through this. Oh, they actually give it to him?
Well, okay, so Savage with the Aegis, Moon takes the cheese. That's interesting. I thought Moon was just the obvious candidate there for the Aegis, but they seem to just want to give it to Savage. Ice doesn't seem quite either way. He's already started pushing out top lane. He doesn't really have much mana, but he has enough regen to sustain himself with the ingredients as well.
And they've kept this Siege creep alive as well, even with the Guardian creeps being used to make sure it survives for that little bit longer. I'm gonna do a little bit, but it's enough.
Repair kit is there. They are still whacking away at that tier 3. They don't care about the repair kit.
Talk about impactful tier 3 items, that's one of them.
That is definitely is. There is going to be a manager on the Zephyr. Zip in from Moon. Who are we going for? It's in the backline. Carl jumped in. So does Cuckoo. But nobody dies quite yet. In fact, there was Jazz that did die, but he'll buy back. And now the Eclipse with the ants being thrown out there from Savage. It is not doing that much, but it is zoning them out. And so that top Rax is going to be in trouble as we do have an unfortunate pause going on. I see a Dragon Tail stun being thrown out there onto the Storm, so Moon has been stunned up now.
Yes, and it's that formation, so it's not too bad. 3.25 seconds, although, again, they need to be a little bit careful. This time around, Whitemon, he has his Glimmer Cape available, but it's another 6 seconds on cooldown, so I'm thinking they'll want to wait before he throws out that Fiend's Grip. Basically the only way. You got CC Moon from 100 to 0 right now.
They do get Moon. That is a great start. Cuckoo's still falling low. Fiend's Grip is going to be there onto Iron Sight. Nobody cancelling it. So he can just channel the full duration. He does there and gets all of it off. And he does finally get Lucibig at the end, and now Savage. Gonna get the Aegis down. He is surrounded. Savage. They keep going by himself. Has to say panic up. Doesn't have the BKB though, and will die.
I mean, that's why you give the Aegis over to your Storm Spirit, right? If he doesn't die, then suddenly they don't have that complete control over the team fight. And, I mean, I don't think the Luna got 100 to 0, right? He has the status resistance coming through from Satanic, just inherent more tanky, having a Talisman of Evasion, has more HP than the Storm, and so I feel like a Cheese is much more viable on something like that.
I would agree, 100%. I think Moon definitely should have had that Aegis, that team fight, but it won't matter now. I guess you've still got the Cheese that you're doing, so ultimately you get more value for that Storm now. So Whiteman's going to try and take an outpost there up the top lane, but TJ's just not going to allow it. Yours him up, got the Avalanche in a couple seconds. With the tossing this time, saves the Avalanche. They're all just tipping Whiteman, who's still trying to go for this. Yeah, he'll give up now. I think he's learned his lesson.
Feels the Observer Ward though, so that's nice and handy.
Oh, goodness me. Alright, so Geek Fam, I mean, they dropped a bit of a net worth advantage. It's about 5k going back the way of Geek Fam, but they are 14k still ahead. Whether they feel confident enough to go back to the high ground without that Aegis is a different story entirely, but I don't really recommend waiting. Because Raven is now, apparently, farming up that Divine Rapier.
Let's go, baby. That's what we want to see. I mean, they've the skin of their teeth, and items coming out here. That Spell Prism is going to be real handy for the Geek Fam lineup. I wonder if it's going to be given to say maybe Zephyr.
Either way, like even both supports and Cuckoo would probably enjoy that quite a bit.
You can see Whitemon, his priority right now is do not die. He's got the Witless Shaco in combination together with his Bracer, and yeah, I don't mind it. He's getting focused down is a big priority in these team fights.
No, he definitely is. Meanwhile, Timeless Relic goes out to the to Ice. Wonder if he even bothers using that. Like, he's got the Witless Shaco himself. We'll find out soon. He's going high ground again. Savage right behind him. Of course, the Glaives. They could work with that Rats.
Oh, he's going to grab this DD, which is really nice on Cuckoo.
Double death.
That he does, but he needs to get back and defend. I believe, unless they just accept that it's going down.
Dire's top
In fact, they'll find the range Rats, and that'll be it, Fnatic. They won't risk any further. They will end up backing off.
Doesn't TP back yet. He really wants to farm up this Ag Scepter. He feels like this is the thing that's going to turn the team fight around. Nervous though. You've got this Moon Storm Spirit farming right underneath a Dire Observer Ward, so careful.
He has to be.
blessings upon a loyal warrior.
Yeah, instant zip.
Cuckoo? You alright? Or just found that situation? Savage has now got the butterfly up, by the way, on the Luna. Going for an eye of study himself straight after. I don't believe you have any way to get through that butterfly for Raven. In fact, I thought he may just rush the Divine at this rate, but he's actually going for that Satanic on the Gyro. Went for the Reavers, instead of just going for the Sacred Relic.
I think it's okay. Again, status resistance, super important for this Gyrocopter to stop him from being chain stunned up. Yeah, as soon as you can get off a couple of these actives that you're holding on for yourself, the call down does a ton of damage. You can just get off a flak cannon. It can make you survive and, you know, eventually Was the BKB right? Oh, sorry. Team fight about to happen. Raven needs to be careful.
He gets jumped on. DJ, oh, it's a lot of damage from that Eclipse. Savage just blowing them up. Raven used the BKB, but it's already gone. Yulko is good. Waiting to control of this gyro. They're trying to save him. It looks like he's good. Just dying here. Got Nightmare Raven up. He does. He gets disrupted. Still pretty low. Finally does go down. No buyback available. And now DJ, another toss back target. He does get one. He was going to be cuckoo. He'll dissimulate, trying to ask himself away, and does get away with it. But down Moon, he's going to get on that sword. Goes straight after Whiteman. The poor Bane, he's had a rough game.
The coconuts.
Yeah, they will get it with the coconut. It's a lot of damage up from Zephyr and Cuckoo, but it's not quite enough. Now Carl will be chased down to DK. They do disrupt him up, but he's certain to die here. As Ice has the control, and they will get him right in front of that fountain. 3 heroes down without buyback, and I believe you'd call that GG.
I believe so too. As long as this Luna's still alive, you're just going to rip through the base, and they even take out the poor Mango Tree to end the game. So good execution from Fnatic, but yeah, you just can't let that Timber Saw through, because even though it might not this impact in team fights, it's just the laning stage and opening up the map so much more for the rest of your team that allowed them to get that early advantage. I think it was like an 8k lead or something like that at around the 15-20 minute mark, and in this meta, it's just too much to overcome.
Gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for game number 2 of this best of 3 series between Geek Fam and Fnatic. It is, of course, MLP Dodo and the lovely Dano. Sir, we're a bit of an extended break, and that was due to the fact that Dodo released a little update. Nothing, I believe nothing's changed. That's of relevance.
I think it was just preventing submitting those high polygon sets for the cage, I think. Outcry about that, but
10 seconds remaining.
Understandable. You know, you want to stick within the rules, although it's a balancing act, right? You want to stick within the rules, but the cooler looking sets, the better, right? So as long as everyone's playing under the same regulations, I think it's all me. But we're back. Game number 2. Do you think Geek Fam are going to be able to pull it back?
I think so, Dano. I'm a believer of this team. I've been saying it from the first time I saw them. I have a lot of faith in Geek Fam. They are up against Fnatic, right? I would say the best team in SCA right now is definitely Fnatic by a long stretch, so not going to be an easy task for sure, but I would say the last game, personally, it was just a drafting issue. Yeah, sure, you got outplayed as well, but you gave Ice Timber? Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
It seemed pretty nuts to me, and I'm liking these bans a whole lot more. You know, you get rid of Ice's and Moon's Nature's Prophet, Timbersaw's gone, Chen's gone. Sure, I mean, it feels like you really need to respect ban the Jab's Witch Doctor. He's been playing it so well, but not quite at that point just yet. And I think the Nyx Assassin is always something good to just get rid of out of DJ's arsenal. It allows him to set up a whole lot. Maybe they're expecting to go something like a first pick Ember Spirit, and you don't want to be able to just easily get ganked?
Sure. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Geek Fam, they'll have first pick, so they could go down that route if they so wish.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
We'll see, though. Okay, that's a great prediction, Daniel. The Ember Spirit does come out for Geek Fam. Fnatic, they still have plenty of picks to make themselves. A lot of popular options are still available for them. I just wonder what they really want to run around. Not that Earthshaker. You do also have that Morphling, which we know Savage loves playing.
True, I don't know if that's the way you should be opening the draft. I guess they've banned out the AA, so it is always an option, but I think Earthshake is a perfectly reasonable thing to get rid of right now. And it has to be said as well that Geek Fam did predict they did have the priority this time around, so they went for first pick, which enabled them to go that Ember Spirit, not wanting to ban out the Nyx and then just run the risk of the Ember Spirit being picked up by Fnatic. And, you know, I feel like Necrophos plays in a similar sort of manner to the Timbersaw for Ice. You know, you're just going to be able to stand on those front lines, be a little bit tanky, although we've seen Moon play it a little bit. I would say it's much more likely going to be in that off-lane role.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with you. Pretty much every time I have seen it, it is Ice playing the hero. He is quite well, it's one of those Ice heroes. It's annoying, simply hard to kill off. You've always got to watch what he's doing, control the lane very easily. It's a classic Ice kind of hero, but Geek Fam, they'll have plenty of time to try and respond to this. You've already got kind of a natural Spirit Vessel carrier in the Ember as well, so that kind of helps up against the Necrophos, I suppose. But Geek Fam, they're definitely going to have a bit of a think about what they're going here. You might have considered maybe going back down the route of the Dragon Knight for Geek Fan, but maybe now second guessing it, so instead they'll go for the Pos for Tusk. And I believe you can snowball dodge Reaper's Sight.
You can. I mean, it's one of the more telegraphed abilities in the game, so you do have the time to be able to make that sort of reaction. It's not something like a Finger of Death or a Laguna Blade where you've got that split second of timing. You have that extra second or so. So it is heavily going to depend on the positioning that Zephyr, you would assume, is going to be able to get in this map. But if it gets later on, and, you know, Necro does get a lot stronger as it gets later on with that Heartstopper aura, of course, being percentage-based damage, maybe the Tusk is going to be able to pick up something like a Blink Dagger, even in that support role, and then you can just stay out of team fights and make sure you are there for that type of save.
You do see that though a lot from these Tusks, right? Like they almost go into that same kind of itemization as the Earthshaker. You just go Tranquil Stick and then you just rush Blink. I've seen that a couple times from Tusks as well, and I wouldn't blame him for going down that route this game, just for that value up against the Necrophos. Still, Geek Fam, they did ban out the Morphling, which is absolutely fair enough. Savage really does enjoy running that. Fnatic now will have to make a ban of their own. What are you really afraid of here if you're Fnatic? Like, with this ban, do you just ban out the DK? Because Geek Fam do seem to enjoy running that Dragon Knight quite a bit.
I mean, they've got... they don't have stun right now. They've got lockdown, you know. Guess Tusk, you said it has a little bit, but you have to commit heavily forward. So you're just wanting something that perhaps can be able to stun from a bit of a safer range. Honestly, even picking up the Witch Doctor for themselves wouldn't be the worst thing right now for Geek Fam. So I'd be a little worried about that.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point. I didn't realize that was still available actually, but it is. Well, he probably will see Jabs take it again for himself if it isn't banned out or picked up.
10 seconds.
Fnatic, they're gonna have a bit of a think about this this third pickup.
5 seconds.
We are looking for a Moon hero. We're looking for a Savage hero. Well, they've been leaving Jabs Pulse 5 hero till last most of the time, which is quite intriguing to me. But I guess why not? They're gonna let this reserve time tick down to under 30 seconds.
What could they look to go for next? Just something safe. The Ursa's already gone. One of those pretty good counters, actually, against the Ember Spirit. But be able to pick it up for themselves, Bane. Yeah, it is some good lockdown for yourselves. An instant pick up of the Lich. So, be wanting to make some aggressive plays happen here around the, like a tri-lane happening early on. You've still got a, well, now, especially now that the Earthshaker and the Bane have both been picked, you don't have the risk of the Enchantress potentially coming out. Chen's already banned, so perhaps Beastmaster could be the go. You're not going to have that Witch Doctor to have the casks bouncing between your boars either, so there's a bit less concern there, and I don't mind it at all. It puts a lot of pressure on Fnatic's lineup, especially considering they don't have the strongest wave clear. I mean, Shaker does, but he needs to face commit for it.
Radiant
yeah, no, absolutely. Fnatic. Oh, okay. Monkey King just pops out. Not exactly what I was expecting here. Fnatic, I believe that should be the position 1 as well. I'm not sure if they're going to give that over to Moon.
It depends on who the matchup is. I really want to see the Beastmaster right now, right? Just because it's strong for all those things that we just mentioned. It gives you that early amount of lockdown so that you can start your chain onto the Necrophos before he goes down. Sure, you can Nightmare a lot of the damage, but still, you can put out a fair amount. And then you can just toss your Whirling Axes into trees. If you've got Monkey King just sitting up there, you can use your Hawk to scout out a lot of his vision. I really like it.
Okay. You would have liked it for, I guess, for Fnatic or for either one, right?
Yeah.
Right, for Geek Fam as well, of course, like, you have so much value there, but well, they don't pick it up. They go for the Troll, which can't say I was really expecting that to come out. I suppose it does combo nicely with the Tusk Lich. Can be quite devastating throughout that laning phase. Maybe up against the Monkey King, though, it could be a bit of a tougher matchup, and even the Necrophos for that matter. Not to mention the Bane. You do have Nightmare Fiend's Grip. It's can be problematic for that Troll.
I guess it makes the laning stage a little tough for Ice, especially if you've got this Tusk and Lich with you at the very start of the game. I mean, you're most likely going to be leveling up the Death Pulse to start the game. Otherwise, what are you really going to do to contest these last hits? I guess DJ can use the Fissure to particularly go for the range creep, but I think that's a really defensive play to be wanting to make. And, you know, got 3 slows essentially with this Troll's Axes. The Lich is going to go for them, and then tag team most likely with the Tusk.
Oh, fair enough. See, Fnatic, they do ban out the Mars as their final ban out, leaving themselves a 2 seconds worth of reserve time now. Geek fam, one more for them. It is really just a matter of whether it's Moon or Savage that's playing the monkey and what you really need to ban out, but it is flexible. Could even be Ice, because you did talk about earlier on, you know, Moon can play that mid Necrophos if he needs to.
Yeah. I want him to get rid of the OD right now on Geek Fam. It's good save if you do get this big combinations off onto the Necrophos. You know, just to have 2 forms of save. Necro does a ton of damage, especially if you allow it to go a bit greedier, which Ice likes to do. Monkey King, he's fine in that offlane. Panicking all too hard, and Geek Fam then picking up a Beastmaster, and then Fnatic to round out their draft if the OD is banned. Let's see.
Radiant team pick.
It's a Lunar instead, huh?
Okay, so they don't want to have to deal with that 23 Savage Lunar again. And that's fair enough, but was that even going to be the pick? He has been playing it a lot. Yeah, he's playing it a lot. I suppose it could have worked.
You know, bite of my Vegemite sandwich to brain power for this.
Good to see you're keeping it Australian, mate, with that Vegemite there.
I need the vitamin B, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Geek fan. 23 seconds left. You talked about the Beastmaster over and over again. I think it's great. I don't see why you just wouldn't go down the route of the Beastmaster here. Maybe a bit tough in the lane, but after that you're kind of pretty good.
Fnatic's turn to
okay. I like it. You can do a lot of anti-heal against the Necrophos. You're always going to be able to pick up the Spirit Vessel on the Ember Spirit, you would still think. And so you've obviously got that aura that's recently been added onto it. So, and that all stacks up additively. It's actually not multiplicative. So if you get to a certain state with the Venomancer, getting the Poison Sting off just from the right click, from the Plague Ward Poison Sting, plus the Spirit Vessel Aura, plus the Spirit Vessel active, it actually goes up above 100%, which is an insane amount of anti-heal to be doing. So against something like a Necro and a Monkey King, and hell, even the Bane, good.
That what seems to be a pos 1 Weaver. I don't see many ways of controlling this Weaver either. Like you talked about the fact that lockdown, they don't really have so many stuns. In fact, they only have 1 in that task. It really hasn't changed. Just seems like Savage might just be able to time-lapse out of any situation he gets himself into here. And if you wanted to take it super late and maybe get that Aghanim Scepter on this Weaver with a Necrophos as well,
10 seconds remaining.
How do you kill anyone?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go Ags if you're a position 1 Weaver. That's my only concern, but Geek Fam kind of a bit of an issue where they're going to want to commit heavily onto Ice at the start of the game. It feels like that's really what this draft is enabling them to do, and it's going to be this mid-Veno, so he's going to have an alright time against Moon. Obviously, he can just test from range. It's really good. The bad part about Veno is you've got pretty sucky attack damage to start the game, so maybe Moon's going to be able to exploit that somewhat, and at least until first couple of levels come up for Veno, the better end of these. Actually, telegraph a rotation coming through Zephyr early on into the mid lane. Maybe try and get a kill up on the board early on for Carl. Let's see.
Be interesting. Fnatic obviously just looking to try and get a 2-0 series if they can. Geek Fam desperate to try and win this second game. Otherwise, they are going to be knocked down to the lower, which isn't too bad. Straight down to the second the lower bracket, but you'd definitely prefer to just go straight through the upper bracket final if you can afford to. Fnatic are definitely in the position to do that right here, right now in that game number 2, especially with that DJ Earthshake.
On the BTS Twitter. Crazy game yesterday with Fnatic. Where no spoilers here.
Prepare for
It
battle.
was pretty fantastic, I'll tell you that. Geek fam, see what they can do this game number 2. They definitely drafted a bit of a different style of draft. I've got to admit, I can't remember the last time I saw Carl playing mid Veno for Geek fam, so I'm not really sure what to expect from that. I suppose if he is going to be up against that mid, it shouldn't be all too bad. Of the lane anyway, but it's just after that, I just really don't know what to expect here from Carl.
Yeah, you can see here he's really prioritized. Well, it's nothing super weird in terms of his itemization. You know, he's gone Fairy Fire, he's gone Slippers of Agility, just because, I mean, you can have a look at his attack damage. It's just sitting at 51 right now. And you can compare that to the Monkey King, 57.
30 seconds.
Sorry, 59, and he's only got the Slippers of Agility. Wait, who's going mid?
Nice picture there. Seppa, he's kind of trapped up right now. He needs to make a run for it. Bot lane Savage, he's going to keep chasing him down. The DJ just splits up a little bit of an engagement there, but ultimately they did have brown boots on Zephyr, so he was able to run out.
It's Savage going mid.
The battle begins.
I think that's a better matchup though, right? Up against that Venomancer.
It is.
Yep.
You can just dodge out a lot of the slow harass that's going to be coming out at you. You can easily secure those range creeps, and like I was talking about with that attack damage, right now he's got an 11 attack damage advantage, so at least super early on he's going to be able to get the better end of these trades.
Absolutely. See Zephyr down to that bot lane trying to interrupt this this blocking that's going on. DJ though will still get it off. Can fish a block, of course, and well, we'll see Raven trying to block the creep wave to the best of his ability. Probably very upset right now that he still can't see creeps. And sometimes no matter how well you block, it just doesn't matter. At least he does make it so it's in the middle of the lane rather than near the tier 1 Dire Tower. Wyman though has to be careful. DJ was trying to get a nice Fisher off, but couldn't quite find it.
Carl's been doing a great job in the mid lane so far. He brought up that Sentry Ward, predicting that it was going to be this mid Weaver. He got rid of the Observer Ward. Oh, he doesn't want to go down now to these creeps, just right-clicking him.
Yeah, Carl. Careful, he does have that Fairy Fire, maybe just trying to bait Savage in. Doesn't have the Gale up right now either though. You've got to be very, very wary of that, and he will just salve up. Keep securing that CS, but just gotta be careful. That Weaver's so much of a harder matchup than that Monkey mid.
The fact that he's been able to get four deniers rather already against this Weaver is really impressive.
Man, it is. Bot lane as well, you look at Ice, he's already committed himself and being harassed down. He will just try and trade while he can, but he will ultimately understand he is going to be the first blood of the game. Be the one to take that on the Troll Warlord. It's a great start for Geek fam.
Not even needing to commit a tri lane to be able to do it, but be a double-edged sword with Zephyr, the other member of that potential tri lane, going down on the top side.
Absolutely. One of those things as well, right? The Necropost is very similar to the Timbersaw in the sense that you need to kill him off early. Because once he has that Ghost Shroud up, it's going to be somewhat impossible to actually take him out.
Yeah, I mean, he has a bit more of a teamfight presence with the Necro, and I suppose maybe a bit more of a late-game timer that, well, not a timer, but you just never want to take it super late with the Necro because it's going to be impactful. Whereas Timber, you can create a whole lot more lane pressure early on. Nice, he's reached level 2 at least.
Got the Ghost Round though, he didn't actually go for the Heartstopper aura. Just deciding he doesn't want to die a second time, though Zephyr is going to chase him down and really provide out that harassment. We've seen this from a lot of teams before, where they'll really put everything they've got into trying to shut down the hero of Ice, but the problem is you can kind of just forget about that mid lane and that top lane. Well, you'll see Moon, he's still farming very well, and well, I suppose at least Savage is still struggling a little bit up against Carl and that Venom. but perhaps just not focusing on moon could be a problem later on. In fact, Ice again. Gonna be chased here, and he is dead.
Able to pick him off again, with Savage as well. I mean, he's been doing an alright job at getting some decent last hits and denies off here, but he's out of regen. He's having to have a bottle delivered out to him, and it's going to reach him right about the right time. 4 minutes approaching shortly, but the way that these side lanes are going, I don't know if Jabs or DJ can actually make that rotation to help the contest. He's starting to do it now, but Zephyr feels like a bit more capable of these fights.
Imagine he does. Stick around down the spot lane. Top lane for a second as well, because we haven't quite yet, but Moon is free farming on that Monkey King. Not really able to do much to shut him down.
Sorry about that.
It's actually well, not really out-leveling Cuckoo yet, but he has the lane advantage. Monkey vs Ember is never going to favor that Ember up until that 6 mark. And well, now Moon gets the Jimmy Mastery off, holding the balance strike, does finally throw it out. But can he actually catch up Cuckoo? Well, it looks like Savage is going to go down mid lane, now even finding Carl as well. They're still going. The snowball is there. DJ now about to fall. That poison from the Gale should be enough, and Carl, he will get a double kill out into that mid lane. And meanwhile, Cuckoo is still being chased up on this Ember. Still just trying to run away. It's like Jabs is not going to let this go, but I think Cuckoo is fine.
Should be alright. He's got the windlace, which gives him that little bit of extra escape potential.
It's a lot of waste of time, though, for Cuckoo. That's about a minute he hasn't been farming. I guess on the positive note, he is nearby the bounties now, so he can take one for the team. Doesn't really have a bottle, though, so he can't really make too much use of it. Ultimately, Fnatic do find a 3-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that Fnatic are doing better than Geek Fam a fair amount right now is their amount of rune. They were able to pick up a couple extra of those bounty runes. They were able to rotate the supports through to the power runes and ensure that Savage bottled the illusion one up. He still ended up dying, but that just goes to some good plays coming through. They didn't really make anything happen on the Geek Fam supports in the time that they made that rotation. This time, though, they should be able to grab DJ.
Yeah, DJ got shot up. Snowball's going to be there. Nice Fisher dodge there from Zappa. They're still doing a great job in terms of kills of these Geek Fam. Getting a 5-2 now, and allowing Raven that free space to just keep farming up to that troll. He's just behind Moon on that Monkey King.
Is under attack.
And that should be somewhat of a concern here for Fnatic, right? Like, Ice is still struggling quite a bit. He's being jumped right now. He does have the Ghost Shroud, but he's not popped it yet. Raven still hoping for an ensnare. Meanwhile, Zephyr does get 23 Savage in the mid lane, and Ice. He's still being chased down. Raven will eventually just let him go. But now DJ's going to come in with the Fisher. It does connect onto the troll. Ultimately, he will save Ice. But for Fnatic's sake, you do get a little bit afraid. Like, you're losing Savage in the mid lane, and Raven's free farming the bot lane.
Yeah, Carl's been playing this really well on the Venomance. Eventually just the Ice Shards being used as Savage was trying to pick up that rune and run away, but it's just not going to be enough. He's gone and used the Poison Over already. Early level up.
Savage might be dead. That's a lot of damage with that Gale. He needs to find a way to deny himself. He thinks about neutrals. Now DJ's going to come in and do it. Nice deny from DJ, making it barely in time. I mean, it's as simple as that. Gale, Poison Nova, Poison Touch, you're dead.
Yeah, and just going for this full lane domination, not wanting to level up the Plague Ward, doesn't really need to give vision. The rest of his team's done a good job with that, with these nice defensive Observer Wards coming out for him, so he's not really in danger of getting dived all too much, and the last thing that he wants is just feeding more Plague Wards over to 23 Savage, so the fact that he had to TP back to lane means that, well, it's really the only escape that you have when you commit the Poison Nova, so wise choice to skill that one up on Carl.
Absolutely. Great foresight there from Carl, and he's going to go for a TP now off that top lane where DJ does already die, but now Luke, he's going to jump in with that Boundless going after Cuckoo. He does secure the kill, and now he will just try and TP out of there, and does do so successfully. Zephyr had already committed the only stun his team has. With that, back off. Jabs, however, going to get a Nightmare off now onto the task. Carl does take the illusion rune. Savage is going to
Ice again.
Yeah, ice. He does go down the bot lane, but in the mid lane, they're still fighting. Time lapse out from Savage. Chance is not going to block the way there from Savage either. But Carl, he might survive this. Savage is getting way too low, no. They get the Venom, and Cuckoo and Zephyr will try and trade here with maybe the Bane. But looks like Jab will also be okay. Now Moon's joined in.
A bit greedy there on Zephyr. He had the 5 magic wand charges, didn't want to pop him to give him the mana for the snowball, and similar sort of, I guess you can call it greedy style play with Ice, not using the Ghost Shroud while he was getting gone on by this Troll Lich combination. Just wanting to bait him in that little bit extra and go efficiency play. Let's see if he uses it this time around.
It's a lot of damage from Raven. He does finally use it, but now Zephyr here. They get the games off. Snowball, and yeah, they should have it. No, Nightmare is there from Jam. Nice. We'll still be able to go down the Raven, now getting a double kill. Just pops the battle trap straight away, and oh, this bot lane's a whitewash. Geek Fam is just so far ahead.
They're doing exactly what they need to against this Ice Necrophos. He's sitting down in 8th position on net worth right now behind the Tusks, so yeah. You want just constant aggression coming out against this hero that doesn't have all too much escape, and even if you pop that Ghost Shroud, you've got a decent amount of damage coming through with the Frost Blast.
That you do. See how Fnatic try to combat this. Like, they've still got the saving grace in that Monkey King being played by Moon. Good. You're right, I'll just chain up the Moon Monkey. The bot lane, Savage is rotated now onto Zephyr. Trying to go after that outpost, but it looks like he'll concentrate on the hero instead, and in fact now, they just want to back out. So he goes for a Fisher, they'll take the easy kill onto Whiteman, and now the Nightmare is there on the troll, but Nightmare is taken off. Whiteman trying to survive now the game as well. They're going to turn on Savage. He does almost go down, but the time lapse is there in time. Oh, that was a really nice cheeky little play there from Whiteman.
Damage.
Sorry about that, did my mic go?
It did for a second, but I'm glad to see you back.
Gold for me.
So they do get a nice support kill down to the bot lane. Fnatic, however, were unable to take the outpost away from Geek Fam. Well, we're still kind of in this farming style game right now where don't feel confident enough to really start grouping up and fighting properly. And Geek Fam just don't care because they're already ahead.
No, they do not, and well, it just shows in the way that Graven's choosing to build this one. He's gone for the Battle Fury on the Troll. He's rotating up towards the top side with his Venomancer. Fortunately, no siege creep to be able to continue this push forward, but Raven have such a strong early game, I don't think they really need it all too much.
No, that they won't. Go for that push now, Raven. Looks like Carl will TP out back down to the bot lane, so they're going to leave Raven up there, not by himself. He'll have Zephyr, but I don't believe they'll be able to fully commit to the tier 1 push quite yet, as Moon is going to be there to defend on the Monkey.
The diving Carl.
Savage on top of Carl. Carl is actually doing a lot of damage over Savage. He might need a TP out of that. He time lapses. Whiteman getting that cancellation on the jump speed strip. Still Carl is alive. Cuckoo's here with Zephyr and Moon. He tries to join in, but you've already lost Savage. You've already lost Jabs. Whiteman does go down now. Moon trying to get the trains. He does get Carl as well, but he's trapped up. It looks like Cuckoo should be able to secure the kill there on the Monkey, and he does. And ultimately, we'll still be a 2-for-3 trade, and Fnatic, they're just getting nothing.
Well, they're getting a little bit. Ice is able to sit in this mid lane. He doesn't have such a disastrous start.
Zephyr, Snowball, gonna keep fighting on to DJ. He did have help there from Cuckoo, but well, he almost dropped to that Echo Slam. Wasn't quite there, but you were talking about just a second ago, Ice is at least getting some farm up down that Necro.
Yeah, really important. You can see he's itemizing for a little bit more of that survivability. Man, they're diving tier 2s at this stage of the game.
That they are. Savage, he's died 4 times. He just doesn't mind though. He just keeps diving. With that, they're going to go after that 2-1 tower now. Carl's going to be there to defend once again. I'll tell you what, Dan, this Venomancer so far has turned out really well for Geek Fam. In fact, they do also, they do drop Whiteman, so Fnatic now may feel very, very confident to try and get that tier 1 tower.
will, and they'll bring some reinforcements here with Zephyr to continue the defense. They really don't want to give up this tower, open up a whole lot more of the map for themselves. I think especially with the Troll Warlord going into the Battle Fury, you want to be able to somewhat safely farm your Ancients if you can, and to create space for him so far. But Ice, again, he is recovering. He's back up in 5th position. He's overtaken Cuckoo despite that early game, and well, they're going in on DJ.
Yeah, DJ will die very easily. I say that they did try out a Chain Frost for that, but yeah, it's not too bad. They do get the Earthshaker kill. It's going to delay his blink even more now. Should take another few minutes at the least on that Earthshaker to get that up. Now, Geek Fam going to start rotating up towards that top lane, where
yeah, just want to be playing defensively, right? You can see what they're trying to do. They've got a wave pushed into their tier 1 tower on the bot side, but if they can make some action happen on the top side of the map, then they can potentially win a team fight and force them away from these aggressive plays that Fnatic want to try and make.
They're going to get that tier 1. No kind of defense. Moon is trying to force him that tier 1. But yeah, he actually is going to get it. So, Geek Fam is kind of free to give this away. A great tree dance into the Primal Spring up from Moon, but now they catch him out. He jumps back up. He's surrounded now, and I believe the end of that he's probably just going to die. They get the gaze off just in time, so he can't even get that free lifesteal off. Cuckoo will take that one on the Ember. But that mid tier 1 tower, yeah, pretty valuable. Surprised Geek Fam just let it go.
It's not necessarily that they let it go, they just didn't have the tools to get back there in time. You know, they'd committed that smoke up onto the top side. I don't think there were TPs on a couple of those heroes, so they didn't want to, for lack of a better phrase, half-ass the defense.
I suppose not. Hey, it's given time as well. Like, Carl's got the vessel up now. He's going to be feeling very, very good about himself from that Venom. Suppose the Battle Fury is now there as well on Raven. But you've also got the blink there on DJ, and he does immediately buy a smoke with that blink. Wanting to just get a surprise reveal off early on.
Does, but might actually be in here with Geek Fam heroes starting to walk into him. You know, it's a nice change of pace to be on the defensive put, but the counter initiation space. They're going to try and find Carl here and
Radiant are scanning.
Just scan him out a little bit, poking and prodding.
Maybe just a bit afraid of.
Are scanning.
Maybe just a bit afraid that that tier 1 tower is still there. I guess it would have meant enough time for people to come down and help out Carl. But look at Jabs, he's really gone right behind that tier 1.
It's getting dived a little bit in this mid lane. Are they going to get lucky with these chain frost bounces? They will.
It does go down. Nice. Tried to get in there to help, but
just happened.
Didn't even have much mana available. Meanwhile, bot lane Queensgrip is going to come out onto Carl. Nice fish around from DJ, just stunning up Raven. They'll give Jabs away here, or maybe they won't. He'll try to delay things out. He will die. Another kill out to the Troll Warlord.
Again, they still defend that tier 1 though, and it's a little bit unfortunate Zephyr didn't have a TP up, so I think they could have probably saved that Venomancer if Troll was there for just the stun from the...
Very true. Still Fnatic, they seem to be quite interested in just getting this tier 1. They do have the blink now up on DJ, it has arrived. He won't pop the smoke, he'll just stay within vision. Or rather out of it.
Need to walk into this. Whitemon, he pops the Frost Shield onto the tower. Perfectly reasonable. I don't know about this TP in though from Cuckoo.
Could be dangerous. Kind of sleight of fist, but he does have a bug on him right now, so they have vision. Now Jabs goes in with the Nightmare. They also found Wyman there with the Wukong's command and Reaper side with the Echo committed. Cuckoo and Wyman both going to end up going down. They kind of called it there, Daniel. He does get caught out and gets taken out easily, and now that bottom tier 1 tower also under siege. But look at this, Zephyr's around. Meanwhile, they're taking another fight onto Jabs. So Jabs will die on the Bane. Savage does get the tier 1 tower and does rotate around and avoid the tusk altogether. He's going to try and even pressure this tier 2 tower a little bit now with this wave.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, Raven's trying to make a play on this mid lane, and Carl as well. They've got the Spirit Vessel onto Ice.
How do you even survive this now?
Radiant's bottom tower is
Nice. Anyway, yeah, they just tip him up. Like, what are you doing with that Ghost Shroud, sir? He had no heals left.
Too much. Oh man, picking up the double damage. They're going to go straight for Roche.
Why not? Best play to make.
Dire's middle tower
Top of the net
is under
worth
attack.
for in front of Savage by 2k now. Taking that double damage.
Zephyr's making a beeline for it as well. They need that tag team to be able to take it quickly enough because Ice, he's probably going to be alive in time to make it a contest. Maybe not. Whitemon's tanking it up a little bit to make sure those bashes don't go on to the damage
Dire's
from Raven.
middle tower is under attack.
Go ahead and finish it off.
Shaman has fallen to the radiant.
It's defensive warding. It's going to spot out the movements from Zephyr. Maybe that's why they made the such an aggressive play towards the bottom side. They knew that they didn't have that Tusk saving potential because they can scout out the fact he didn't have the TP previously when he was walking around in the Dire jungle.
Yeah, absolutely. Dano, I need 1 second.
Dire's
Someone's
middle
having a knock at
tower
the
is under
door.
attack.
I'll be right back.
I will be play-by-play and analyst. Let's go. There's nothing happening, so I can't do anything. Feels bad, man. What can we talk about on the map, right? Make plays around the mid lane. Nothing too.
There is
Sorry.
nothing that can stop this.
It's all good.
Fisher out. Wyman, he's been caught out there on the lift. Out of the strike as well. Poor Wyman. No Roshan to deny himself off to. He's just dead.
Nothing happened. It was actually the one time in SEA Dota where nothing happened for a good 20-30 seconds.
That's unusual. I've never seen that. What do you think Geek does with this this Aegis now? Like, do you just keep safely farming on Raven on this Troll Warlord, or are you looking to try and make a play?
Oh, they've broken Moon off to the trees here. Cuckoo, he's done a good job here. He was trying to contest the outpost. Will they be able to do anything about it, though?
Kongs is there. Moon, he's going to fight back now. They don't have the damage output. That'll secure the kill. Well, Moon, he won't mind just using the ulti like that. Just to be able to survive. That's really unfortunate for Geek
It is, and they're kind of baited out a little bit by that rotation as well, because you could see that Carl wanted to make the TP through to rotate, but ended up cancelling it after Zephyr dropped quite easily. So now they're caught with 3 heroes on the mid lane or bot side where they don't really want to be. They want to be making aggressive plays with the Aegis. They want to be pushing into this top side. They want to secure the outpost in the tier 2 tower if they can, so that those next Roshans just become a lot more easily accessible.
Absolutely. Carl, he's just going to keep forcing out the top lane, trying to make some space for his team, but they are closing in here, Fnatic. DJ's got the Echo back up, and he's with Savage in that smoke. Raven. Gotta be careful. A lot of TPs here from Fnatic.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Raven will
attack.
break the smoke. They should have spotted them out
Dire's
now.
top tower is under
He's got
attack.
the S&Y as well, so that's a really nice pickup to have. That extra status resist, that extra regen, especially when you are in the battle trance. I don't think they actually have a Spirit Vessel just yet on Fnatic's side, so that's going to be really impactful for the role.
That will. Geek fan. Still in a great position here to try and fight. They aren't really making any form of play though. They are really just sticking to the farming game with Raven, and I can't quite blame them. He may feel like he could just outscale everyone on the map right now with that troll. That may be the game plan, like, even with that Aegis, they're just not willing to make a play here. On tier 1 tower, but that's, yeah, it's a safe play to make.
Well, they're smoked up and they're going to run into 5 Fnatic heroes standing at the top here trying to take up this big ancient stack.
What have I done? DJ?
Premature. Oh, nice poison over. Hits onto 2.
Jabs, he's in trouble. He should take out here. Fisher is going to block the pathway. Nice deny out from outside side. Now the Wukong is out. Raven's going to have to fight within it. Cuckoo will die immediately to the Reaper's side. And now Raven, following that battle trance, trying to survive through this Aegis. He will at least lose the Aegis, it seems. Chain Frost bouncing through to the beat grip now on the lid. Barely moves, survives. He needs to get up a Carl. Will finish off 2 of them. Now Savage going back in on the lid. Will time-lapse out of there. Jabs is in trouble, however. He's been left alone, and looks like he will die. Well, you lost the Aegis, but you found a successful team fight for the side of Geek Fam, and now with that, they can move into that mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I don't think they minded too much. Only had a minute left on that timer. Really nice use of the Chain Frost as well to zone out a lot of these Fnatic heroes, realizing that even though there was only 1 hero next to it, they had vision over this...
Mid lane? They go straight onto Raven. It's a lot of damage. Raven, he will die. They do get DJ in return. But now Savage, he wants to chase down Carl. He's sick of this Venomancer. And he might just find him, although neutrals, no, he does get the kill. Savage, how do you get out of this one? He doesn't have time lapse. Shards, not going to be on point. Still trying to run. Tag team going to be activated with the snowball. He needs 3 seconds for the time lapse, but no, they will get the trade.
Toasty.
Cheeky, and some real valuable gold go in the way of Cuckoo as well. It feels like his farm has sold a fair amount, so at least now he's able to pick up some of these, say, more damage-dealing items, but he's already gone the 4 stuff on an Ember Spirit. That is not something that you normally see.
Very utility-style Ember. It's definitely nothing I've ever seen before with the 4 star. Now goes damage as well.
The only thing that I can think of, and confused about the 4 staff, is of course you've already got a Venomancer building into a Spirit Vessel, right? So I guess you're putting all of your anti-healing on one hero. With the 4 staff, I think again it's just standard Cuckoo style of play. He wants to do something flashy, and the big thing that he wants right now is 4-staffing that Monkey King outside of his Wukong's command so that they can take a team fight more readily there.
I guess that could be the play. Just try and get rid of that Wukong's, but I guess you would have kind of expected somebody else to buy the 4 star. Heard, right? Cuckoo can still do his job, he just won't really have damage output. Does have the medallion now, but we'll see.
It's something.
You'll just reserve judgment till we see what he does with it.
It's a bit more of a... That's the thing, but it doesn't feel like he's roaming. He's just farming like Cuckoo normally does. So something like a Maelstrom, of course, is going to be really impactful, but just don't think now's the time to start to go for it.
Definitely not. They are giving most space away, of course, back to Raven, who is still just trying to farm towards that BKB Satanic. Because he wants to start with the BKB first, which makes enough sense. See, Fnatic is trying to keep up in terms of farm. Savage now about 3k net worth behind that Troll Warlord. Does have the Deso MKB going though. So he's hitting like an absolute truck. He's also trying to finish off his own BKB timing.
I think this is fine though, because you know your BKB is going to be a BKB with an extra $3,000 worth of items, or 3,000 items. He's nearly reached his level 18 as well, which is our Troll here.
And he has
20% lifesteal, especially now that they still don't have any anti-heal.
Gonna be nice. Whiteman barely gets out with his life intact up the top lane. Moon just did not really spot him out behind that tree line.
Courier has been killed.
But they are going to start slowly setting up to force in that top tier 1 tower and try to get some more towers going underneath their belts for Fnatic. Geek still trying to go after that mid tier 1, which is fairly low, but we haven't really seen Fnatic be willing to let it go down. Perhaps this top tier 1 push may force Geek to respond.
Like we were expecting during the draft, Zephyr, he's been lucky enough that Geek Fam, they've been able to make a good fist of the early game, and he's picked up a Blink Dagger relatively early on for a support. He's even going into a BKB right now, so that if he does commit himself into the middle of a team fight, he's going to be able to walk out and potentially have that Blink Dagger off cooldown for the next re-engage.
It's going to be very, very useful.
Dire's bottom
the top tier 1 did end up dropping Fnatic. They get it for free. Geek still kind of just taking control of that Dire triangle. They've got the BKB now up on Raven.
Legs as well, handy to have.
Very, very nice. They may take some time to farm those tier 3 items, or they may just rush right now. 4-staffing forward there with Carl. No, it was actually good to do that 4-staffing forward. So Ice will have to go try himself up. He'll be okay.
It must be such a luxury just to have DG on your team, because they realize, wait a second, how long has it been since there's an Echo Slam? I feel like we've done this before. And he's playing a little bit of the dodge game here, trying to get caught out by those remnants from Cuckoo, but nah, gonna get away.
Right. Be fine. Fnatic, I believe they just had a quick check to see if the Roshan might be up, and it's going to be about a minute away now. So I don't believe they'll really want to allow Geek to take this second Roshan. And well, both teams, they'll smoke up at the exact same time.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're running the exact opposite way as well. Roshan will be up in 45, so it's not too bad for Geek Fam.
No vision, luckily enough, for Geek Fam in their own. Well, otherwise they would have spot out that courier coming to deliver the observer and sentry wards. Carl going to be in a little bit of trouble here.
Swarm was thrown out, so now they know they will smoke. Geek Fam again checking Roshan, still 25 seconds away.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Regeneration.
Just taking some more real estate. Got just a level 18 on Carl as well, which is obviously going to be really useful to have around that Roche pit. Small enclosed area. He's got it now. A couple of seconds, but they found out Zephyr in the meantime.
That was a little bit scary. Now Chains and Gaze is there onto Savage. He's just tanking through the damage right now.
This is super handy.
That it is. Yeah, a lot more sustain there for Geek there.
Radiant are scanning.
Neither side really engaging all the way quite yet. Chance up.
Radiant's
well, definitely be trying to fight for it.
Attack.
Mid lane, they'll see Ice, but I think Ice is baiting in right now. In fact, Savage, he's going to run straight into Raven. DJ blinks in, but misses out on the Fisher opportunity.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Savage will just keep going.
They're just baiting each other out right now.
Yep. Roshan.
Seconds until that 30-minute mark too.
Nice. In trouble, they got the game off. He doesn't actually, he does have Ghost Round, he will use it, but can he heal himself up enough? Nice fish round from DJ now. Well, Moon, he's trying to get in there. He won't quite find the angle. Ice, he's been trapped up by those sharks. So Remnant in, they're trying to take down this necklace, and he will. But an immediate buyback. Now the Fiend's Grip out on the Ember. He's still trapped up there in that Fiend's Grip. It doesn't really get him out with the force off, but now Snowball is going to save. They do reap the side. They do get Zephyr and Cuckoo. Cuckoo will also buy back immediately.
Still fighting around this Roche pit. I mean, the fact that you had to use buybacks on both your offlaners is pretty impactful. Luckily enough, Ice, he didn't buy out the Guardian Greaves, so he did enough for it. Just continuing to make this deep observer ward doing so much work. That's a dieback.
They got control there on the Cuckoo. Time will start like this. He Raven's out. Now Raven's in. He does end up killing off the Earthshaker. The DJ's down for 50. Moon going to show himself. Raven wouldn't mind the fight, but now Savage going to rotate back around that Weaver.
That blind connected onto him though, so stay and fight. He's done it again though. Has to pop the BKB for it.
Command is out. Raven pops his own BKB with the Battle Trance. Savage will just run away. Raven just continuing to chase there, trying to go on some Moon. That Battle Trance will wear off, and now Nightmare will come out from Jazz. You don't have the Fiend's Grip, but you may not need it. The roll is pumping Zephyr. He does get Savage. No buyback available on that Weaver, and now Cuckoo will chase down Moon. Ice as well, just deciding he's going to TP up. Moon will do the same. Jazz has been left behind. But this will open up the Roshan pit now for the side of Geek Fam.
Yeah, they're very happy with that sort of trade. You need to be so mindful of the DJ Echo Slam coming through at the end of the day. He's even got the Shadow Blade available, but I'm not sure what happened that time. Moon, it felt like his Wukong's command was cancelled super early. It didn't even, he wasn't forced out of it. So perhaps a very small misplay coming through there, and despite the fact that the Guardian Greaves is much more impactful on Ice, you can break a lot of what they're going to put onto you. It's just not enough for him to be able to outwithstand his Spirit Vessel as well as the Venomancer.
That is true. Well, now you've got the Aegis, you've got the cheese up on Zephyr as well, but he might just give that over to Carl.
Diving in deep? What is going on here?
Gets in with the Echo now. The Reaper's Carl. That wasn't it, sir. Just too early. He did hit the Gale on Ice, but it just didn't matter.
Oh, well, that's alright then.
Zephyr now getting caught out there with the task move, going to take him out as well. And I suppose if you're Geek Fam, you're not really expecting Fnatic to run at you after you took a Roshan. But Fnatic, they just keep going. Wyman now gonna get jumped on. He does commit the Shadow Amulet. Do they have protection? Not quite.
They will now.
Yeah, absolutely. Jazz comes in. Chain Frost is out, but Wyman is gonna die. And suddenly a 3-0 trade while Geekfam has the Aegis cheese.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be making the aggressive plays, and it's fine if Carl has that, but you've got to play with your team, buddy.
Oh, what late? They got after tier 3s. Savage. I don't know if this is how it's meant to work, so you lost the Roshan. Moon's going to be there with it. They partner up this troll. They're really going to get a tier 3 now.
Radiant's bottom tower is falling.
Alright, disarm on the troll. He'll run away for now, but he does have that satanic Aegis, so Savage will have to be careful, but they are going to leave barracks.
It's the lockdown.
He can't find that sound there in time. And so perhaps they have overextended here, but well, Jad should also die. He will go to do the TP. Can they get him? Well, they do get the chains off.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But Fnatic, they actually got a tier 3 tower, and in some weird way, they've stopped any form of push that Geekfam could have had.
Yeah, for now. Top side pushed in a little bit. I think they're relatively happy to have Raven down on this bottom side. He's not in real danger of dying, considering the 100-0 stuns are only really going to come through in combination with this Bane. Alright, with it, they need the initial setup. He's standing right next to him. He's baiting something to try and make it happen, but quite yet. Oh, is he going to go for the Boundless Strike? Stop this TP?
Well, yeah, he's waiting. It's a long TP, though, from Raven. He's just waiting out the duration and now gets in.
Oh,
Raven.
I was about to say, is he going to go for the Battle Fury onto the tree and doesn't quite catch him?
Very, very close.
Though, 3 heroes nearby.
Got the Reapers up. Raven, very aggressive. He's going for that 35-minute bounty room.
He's got Aegis, he can.
You really want to just lose it, though? Looks like Fnatic won't make the jump.
Yeah, it's okay. They still had the outnumber. They had heroes coming in through the river, and they had complete vision on both sides, so they were fine to make that sort of play.
Alright. It does work out for them. 3 for 1 on those bounties. Geekfam now going to group up, trying to head down mid.
Dire structures.
Got a battle now up on Raven. It's just on the courier. A bit more itemization here for this troll, but that does mean he's not going to have buyback gold if things go really bad. And they could, because Moon is pushing in that bot wave once again, so he's going to try and force back the side of Geekfam. The question is, will Geekfam back off, or will they go for the mid-racks?
I mean, I think at the minimum they're going to force some rotations to come back, which they have not just yet. Moon's got TP, DJ has TP. So that's a small advantage of having this invisibility available to you, but soon on both sides, because both bases being assaulted.
Yeah, they're just playing a game of chicken right now, and well, nobody's really losing yet. They're just standing their ground, but I'd say Fnatic might have the upper hand now that they've got the creep wave on that racks, but Cuckoo will TP in. And this is Geekfam's timing, right? They've still got that Aegis, they've got all these items up. They want to be the ones pushing high ground, but Fnatic will just not allow it. And Moon, he's sticking around down that bot lane. Counts in, does force the rune usage out of Cuckoo. I don't think they can TP back now. They'll bring another in fact 2, 3 TPing in. A great play out of Moon, and well, Zeppa, he's going to try and punish, but he won't get it.
Nearly made it happen. Moon is still here. It's actually nuts how much space he's making, you know, both with the use of that Primal Spring, forcing Cuckoo out to the top side, and then even just using the Boundless Strike to secure one more creep wave moving into the Radiant base.
Great plays out from Moon. So both sides have lost the tier 3 tower, but now
they should be where he is. Smoke being popped. Quite yet level 25 either on Ravens, so he needs to be a little bit careful here. The 5 seconds left on his Aegis. He needs to be incredibly careful.
That he does, and well, Fnatic, they're just grouping up. They know the timing. There's that Aegis going.
Leveler as well. So handy for this Monkey King.
Will be. Moon gonna try and bait them out. No chains. They don't land anyway. They just kind of stare off each other from a nice little distance, but now a bounty has been placed, and of course with bounties you do want to claim them. Fnatic will start inching their way over and taking more territory away from Geek Fam. They're just now running away. Moon is going to give vision. He's going to be careful not to get his tree chopped down. He'll make a run for it. Raven will swim up, gets it back in the range here. Now Savage is going to come in, but Moon forced to pop his BKB. Now the feed comes up. Raven, he needs time to pop and Satanic and the battle plan. But it looks like his monkey will get out with the Wiggles command. Now the fish are there. DJ still holding. Comes in for the echo. He does end up getting Raven. They'll also find Zephyr, it seems, on that task. Cuckoo's trying to run. It looks really bad for them. Carl trying to fight back as well on that Venomancer. Ice just healing everyone up on that Necrophage. But it looks like maybe they will take down. Everyone's so low. But Savage comes back in now. On that Weaver. He'll chase down Whiteman. Going after Carl. Cuckoo trying to control up Savage. But it's a 3-for-3 trade thus far. A buyback out on Zephyr. And that'll be it. A very, very even sort of team fight.
Yeah, the Plague slowly advancing more and more, and you can just see the advantage of being able to take this team fight as a Venomancer. Normally, you're happy for these long team fights to happen as a Necrophos, but up against a Veno, you do need to pick your battles. And, great initiation onto the Troll Warlord there, but just with that Satanic already built up, plus the Sanjin Yasha, just doesn't last for long enough. Even a full Fiend's Grip isn't enough.
Definitely isn't.
Deep here onto Jabs, not
top tower
back off.
Is under attack.
Zephyr diving into the mid lane high ground.
Top tower
Bit surprising when you've got a level 25 nearly Weaver to deal with.
Yeah, there's Savage. He just pushes down that bot lane again and gets a bit more damage onto that Rat. Forces 2 more TPs down to that bot lane. He's just being... He's making it impossible for Geek Fam to actually push in a base, even when they feel like they can. It's all, in the end, this bot lane is probably going to get pushed out regardless. Like, this Rax is going down sometime. Geek Fam, though, they're just going to keep delaying it out as much as possible.
Just seeing, like, normally you don't want to have to pop absolutely everything there like Raven did. So he didn't have any tools at his disposal to be able to withstand that Echo Slam and the follow-up damage that came from it. And I think that's one of the things where if you wait until you're level 25, sure, Battle Trance Strong Dispels is really good this game, but so is the Whirling Axis cooldown, particularly against something like this Weaver and the Monkey King, who are so heavily reliant on it, that, you can maybe withhold one of those abilities or one of those items so that you have that secondary teamfight potential.
I'd agree with you, but he does end up going for that Strong Dispel. So Raven just wants to opt for that now, rather than the Axis.
For me.
There was some value there for that those 4-second axes, though, sure. Well, the game will continue. Still no team losing a Rax yet. Of course, Raven is still at the top of the net worth for it at 25k. Just working towards that final item in the Abyssal Blade. Should have that up fairly soon. And say the same for 23 Savage. He's trying to work towards a Butterfly or a Satanic now, but he does have that Eye of Skadi up.
Smoke coming, Geek Fam. Man, Zephyr is so tanky right now. He's gone full teamfight control with the Ice Shards cooldown, so it's only going to have 14 seconds. He's got a Minotaur Horn. He's got nearly 3,000 life for himself, and they've gone on Ice.
Yeah, the problem, he will try to get himself out with the canny. Still, he'll get himself up, does still have the Ghost Round, does get it off in time. Savage is buying in time on that Weaver. It's the same spot that he try and fight in. The Fiend's Grip is eventually going to wear off there on Raven. He does still have Battle Trance. He will go after Jab. Now the Work holds Blue. He'll try to turn around. They do jump in with Carl on the Venom, getting a great poison over off with the Reaper side. Will take him out. Zephyr, snowball in now. Back onto Eyesight. He's just not dying. He has too much Ghost Round. The Echo's in, but it doesn't do much. It really works against the side of Fnatic. The Tips come out, and they full wipe them out. Geek Fam getting a 3-for-1.
That's the difference right there in that team fight. Able to hold the Battle Trance right until the end. Didn't even, pop the BKB Satanic together, and still had something to be able to continue the secondary team fight. Meant that DJ wasn't able to just go in when he wanted to, and some great space being created as well. Zephyr throwing himself on the front lines, knowing that he had the Minotaur Horn for the initial engagement onto Ice, and forced to pop a lot of this team fight sustain super early on, which meant it wasn't available for the rest of his team.
Savage lost that mid-ramp. He's going to come in to try and maybe delay things out a little bit. Try and make sure that all of this is there. Savage, you can't silence this nightmare. It won't be enough. Raven still gets the kill off the back of those shards. There's no
Back forced out. Yeah. The Shaker brought out, but no Echo Slam for the next 50 seconds. It's just delaying right now.
I thought Savage would have had buyback, considering he made that play, but he's short of gold, and now one T4's gone. Raven, he'll go for another. How do you stop this?
You don't. You've got the Solar Crest as well, so he's just going to be able to stack up those fervor stacks super early on. They're trying to put the Courier in there as a bit of bait for him.
They even drop a magic one on the crowd. Yeah, Raven, he's a man of business. Need to offer him more than that. The jump in, Zephyr finds time with the snowball. They have the aim. GG's been called. They will force it to a game number 3.
Yeah. Feeling strong.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
And you also have to kind of point out they still have the Vengeful Spirit on top of that as a +5 if they so wish, and it would kind of fit with the Dragon Knight Luna quad.
Perfectly fine. Play a decent amount here on
10
Geek Fam.
seconds remaining.
A lot of potential damage coming in ready,
Dire
and
team pick.
a little bit of
Witch Doctor.
surprised me to see this quick style of hero that round a fair amount. Fights. Addict, they just back to the old faithful.
Absolutely. But then I asked the question, where's this treant
10
going?
seconds remaining.
Is this now a +4 or an offlane treant that we're seeing here?
5 seconds remaining.
Like it fits size. Again, I think with the best teams in the world, can't always just say right off the bat. Flexibility is a big reason why they are, and they're not even about how they want to go about things.
You're probably right in saying
Fnatic's
Geek
turn to
Fan
pick.
seem fairly certain of themselves though. They're going to be Ogre Magi. How can I forget? Bloodlust with Luna and Dragon Knight seems pretty darn strong. We've seen a lot of Ogre in combination with the Luna. I don't mind this here, because now you've got so much stun available. If you do get that initiation in with the DK Dragon Tail, followed up by the Fire
10
Blast,
seconds remaining.
you can really just blow someone up. The
5
Fnatic now,
seconds
with their
remaining.
4th pick, are going to have to try and reveal a bit more cores, I believe, to really show us what their game plan is, because they haven't really shown us that as of yet. What do they go for? Well, think about with the reserve time for now.
Dire team ban.
Possibly. They do go for the Phoenix. Okay, so I now wonder, like, is this going to be a DJ Phoenix? Like, we haven't seen offlane Phoenix in a while. It hasn't really been a thing. So it should theoretically just be the +4 Phoenix, but Fnatic could be playing some mind games here with Geek Fam. I like the pickup though.
10
You didn't really have an
seconds
answer there for the Dragon Knight. Sunray, you can really burn through his
5
HP quite
seconds
easily.
remaining.
I suppose up against the bloodlusted heroes like the Luna as well, the Fire Spirits will be quite effective.
Question that Fnatic are going to be asking themselves now is a Treant Protector's Living Armor going to be enough to stop the pressure? If they think what they want the last pick to be, then they're happy with running. Want to get that level up. If you're wanting to exert aggressive pressure, then you need that Phoenix to get low. Phoenix really only needs Tranquil Boots, maybe a Magic Wand, and then beyond that, anything is really on what you just... I feel like Treant's one of those can leave, I believe,
Fnatic's turn to
and
ban.
Out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we are still lacking that 23 Savage hero and all this. Really doesn't have many popular picks left. Like, that Morphling's gone, the Ricky's gone, the Spectre's gone, the
10
TB's
seconds
gone,
remaining.
Lycan's gone as well. I wonder what they're going to give
5
this man
seconds
for
remaining.
this third game between Fnatic and Geek Fam now. They'll have a last little think about their final ban out with that 18 seconds reserve time they have left. Seems like, I guess that is one of the options left. They ban out the Void Spirit.
Roll, I'm worried that Geek fight, it gives them a stun, it gives them sustain in lane, that frontliner in addition to Giant, let the Luna.
10 seconds remaining.
Conker does seem quite nice.
5 seconds remaining.
Even without the, even if it wasn't the troll, the Conker still seems pretty nice, but...
Faceless Void.
Oh, okay, the Void is there, but I still think that, that Conker prediction you made could fit here. Boat an X into a Faceless Void is quite nice.
Right now, Fnatic have the team.
Ten seconds remaining.
The Cronus. That's always going to be really...
5 seconds remaining.
But is it going to be enough? Do they have the tower taking potential? It's not hugely... It leads... Maybe this is... Effective because that Meteor... Even if it's not them actively out, lanes are passively put. But
got one final pick, 25 seconds reserve time left for this. Still yet to see if this is going to be a mid-quad, the pulse 4 quad, the mid-DK, and off-lane DK. All up in the air.
See a...
Okay, mid-laner. Could be it.
Earth Shaker.
Oh.
Choose your hero.
Earth Shaker comes. Alright, so that's going to be a pulse 4 Shaker. They are going to run maybe the mid-quap or the mid-DK. Ravens, of course, going to take the Luna. They're just going to wait out a bit. And no, that is a pulse 4 Quap and off-lane Earthshaker by Cuckoo. That's a new one.
It is a new one, I suppose, just wanting to contest with the Faceless Void. Thankfully, it's not going to Dragon Knight. A little bit more faith in Geek Fam's draft.
Good to hear, good to hear. I ask you now then, like we can see both drafts. This is the final game. Loser does go to the lower bracket, round number 2 of the lower bracket. Who, in your opinion, has the better draft?
I want to see the laning setups.
Okay.
See if they're crazy. Initial reaction is Geek Fam. But hold my opinion, just
Fair enough, we can do that. This Ice Train Protector gonna be there. DJ taking the Phoenix, Jabs of course back on the Witch Doctor. Seems like there's gonna be a hell of a lot of pressure on Moon this game to try and buy as much space with his team so Savage can get that farm lead going for himself up against that Luna who should really have the advantage in the speed she farms at, considering she does have the inbuilt glaives, where Savage will probably have to go into maybe the Maelstrom to try and keep up in farming.
plus having an oak.
Exactly right.
Lost
What the
in the
f*** just
war
happened?
zone.
Expertise!
Zephyr, please.
L'univers!
Exactly PG-rated content right there for Dota 2. Between Fnatic and Geek Fam, this should be a good one. Match up before one of these guys proceeds and one of these guys gets knocked down. And, well, as far as I can tell, there is going to be a bit of a difference in lanes. Savage, he's going to run up top on that Void, so he doesn't really want to go up against that off-lane Shaker, or rather the off-lane Shaker is not what he wants to go up against. They were bringing 3 down bot lane as well to try and counter out this Void, but for now, all they're going to find is a tree.
And I'm not sure going to be able to do all much about that. See Whitemon as well. One into the Orb Venom, so harass out that Faceless as much as possible. Acceptable to the bashers. from him.
30
Magic damage is a
seconds to battle.
physical. That big bulk of 7 armor isn't that much, but
Sure. Savage. Stick up top. Of course, this is going to be a very, very hard lane for Raven if they keep up this this tri lane here from Fnatic. I'm sure Geek will react straight away as soon as they see it.
The battle
That can
begins.
stop this man.
Savage, where are you off to, sir? He's running down bot. Okay. So Ice is going to switch up with Savage. He'll just start using Time Walk to get there before the creep wave meets. And so they do actually decide they'd rather go up against this lane of Zephyr Whiteman right now. Jab's going to get a little bit caught out here by Whiteman. It's going to just run him down that tree lane. No, he'll leave him. Oh, no, he won't. Whiteman, having a check, does find Jabs now. But maybe not the position he really wants to be in, considering Savage has also joined in. At least he does scout that out.
you can see here Whiteman, he doesn't even need to pop one of his tangos. He's already got that 6-point regen holding onto the one mango, and he's going to go top, trying to contest this a little.
I can appreciate that. You are going to have to keep Raven safe, right? Like, he's very squishy in comparison to most POS 1s in these earlier stages of the game. And that's Ice there hitting for 91 base damage right now. It's not going to be too safe for him. He doesn't have that support around.
Nicely done to, obviously you want to go the Fire Spirits level 1 on DJ just to harass out a little bit, interrupt some of these last hits, and Raven's only been able to grab 1 so far. It means that he wasn't able to get the block onto the small camp though. Is eventually going to be able to pull that one through with against his favor.
Definitely nice for the side of Geek there. Of course, that mid matchup as well. You'll have Moon there up against Carl on the DK. Be one of those more passive mid matchup that we tend to see with the DK involved. It just doesn't ever tend to die with that dragon blood.
Potentially, but we can see here he's already done it once on Ice. He's using the living armor onto the Ember Spirit to enable him to go forward a bit more aggressively.
That is very true, and Moon has been doing so, just really spamming out those chains. More living armor to come through, so Carl won't really be able to harass Moon out either. Well, with this added HP, he really shouldn't have too much of a problem up against Carl. It's be a matter of whether he can get a rotation later on to try and actually burst down the DK a little bit. But DK is going to be a little bit preoccupied right now, just trying to deal with this pull that's coming out from Whiteman. He can't really stop it either, which is a bit of a shame for him.
Stacked up as well, otherwise if he just got that Kobold camp, he would be kicking himself. It's easily the worst camp in the game if you're a support. It just doesn't even on range.
That is wrong. DJ, be a little bit careful about how far he overextends. The Fire Blast's going to fly through now, but he will Icarus dive out of there.
Dire's courier has
Really
been killed.
playing on the edge with this Phoenix, trying to contest this pull coming out from Whiteman. Now Ice even going to walk through with the pull of the creep wave. I don't mind that pull either, because Raven might struggle just a little bit underneath this tier 1 tower with the Luna.
There is nothing that can stop this man.
I think with Cuckoo, yeah, like we were saying before, he's not going to go from right into the Fissure. He's leveling the up. Now, I think after that, maybe the Enchant Totem's the priority. Oh, Zephyr might be getting caught out here.
Another pass, only bounces once though. Zephyr does, or is able to blink out. No lucky bashes for Savage. But DJ does find a nice little courier there. Does deny off the stick onto Whiteman. Meanwhile, Mid is still really forcing in this tier 1 tower. Making sure Carl is constantly having to farm underneath that tier 1. Trying to really harass out with the Flame Guard chains again. Carl has been controlling this quite well. He already has the top of the last hits on the board and has his soul ring up, so things are much easier for him. But at the very least, Moon is going to be able to get a bottle. PD up. That should help, maybe even give him some kill potential here onto that Dragon Knight. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, They've caught out on the bot side here. Who they're going to get the kill on?
They do. Jabs does go down. Now the bashes are coming out from Savage. He's just not feeling confident to go all the way right now at that level 3 mark. And go back for a little bit. Mid lane, looks like Carl is getting dived right now by Moon. Does have that double damage active, so he's doing a lot of damage even with that flame guard, but Carl is running very, very quick even without brown boots.
Been denied.
Moon can't quite finish the job off, but
It's got the slide.
James as well. Carl, Dragon Tail is going to come out, still trying to just juke out Moon, and looks like the Ember will just pull the creep wave away.
Slide. He's got about 5 seconds or so and grabs the bounty rune, so it's actually a decent trade here for the Ember Spirit. Obviously, you can't just walk away from a creep wave if you're trying to contest that with Carl, and pretty decent for Fnatic in the mid lane, especially.
That is definitely true. A bit of extra value by pulling it into that neutral camp. Things are very, very stable for both teams, I might add. It's just, well, now, maybe not now with the bounty being placed. DJ, he seems to want Zephyr. Wyman's going to be chased down up in that top lane, but he'll be okay on the Ogre. Now, while all this has been happening, Raven has fallen behind farm just slightly on that Luna now, sitting at 22 and 3. Ice actually out CSing the Luna, but they are going to bring 3 heroes in. Wyman's there with Zephyr. Try and help out Raven, test this Tree Protector and Phoenix. Even then, I don't know if that's going to be enough, to be perfectly honest with you. You've got the Icarus side, you've got the trees there for Ice, although now they do make the jump, and it turns out it is going to be enough. Trying to go for the deny off on Ice, but doesn't quite get it.
Yeah, they've got a good amount of damage with this being leveled up to 3, 225 on a 6-second cooldown. You can just constantly. And, yeah, finally Raven's going to be able somewhat free farm.
The bot lane, Savage, he's trying to make a chase onto Cuckoo. They do end up letting the Earthshaker go. Nice little steal there from Cuckoo. That Fisher, taking that large
Ice is in trouble again, he just TP'd back.
Uh-oh. Ice trying to run, but they just dive him straight away, and that's going to be a huge pickoff. Time for that walk of shame. However, mid lane, Carl also goes down. Moon does finally get through the HP and armor of that Dragon Knight, and I guess maybe you can argue that was still positive for the Geek fam, as they have to make the tree walk up.
They do, but still at the same time, DJ, he's already level 5 as this position for Phoenix. So I was talking about in the draft before that it's really important that if you put this, if you need the levels early on, it means that the Phoenix needs to go that position 3. But the fact that he's been able to get the levels despite not getting the farm, positive outcome.
That it is. They're going to force Zephyr to TP back to the fountain as well on that possible swap. Meanwhile, bot, yeah, he's in trouble. That Melodic slowly ticking him out. He gets another nice Fisher off. Savage, no, he's going to commit the chrono. It is a pos 3 Earthshaker after all. You may as well just secure the kill and not play any games and get back to farming if you're Savage. It's not a bad chrono to start us off.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine. The Shaker's lane into when you can just spam out that aftershock with not too much mana cost and take a little bit of a lead here. Wasn't able to get the turnaround, being a full level behind right now, despite having a bit less time with a lane partner side of the map.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Come back into the lane. Zephyr's going to be there now on the Queen of Pain down at that bot lane, so maybe they're looking to try and back towards Fnatic, but you've got Savage with that level 2 time walk, so I don't think it's going to be too easy. It'll start. Cast's going to be there again onto Cuckoo though with the Melodic. Cast bouncing the right way, but no bashes out from Savage. So he doesn't bother chasing down any further. But now Zephyr going to find the courier of that Faceless Void. Well, that will reveal his position now, so Savage is going to back off a little bit, maybe even jump onto Zephyr. But Zephyr has gone on Jazz. Courier as well. Cast will fly out. Zephyr still waiting 5 seconds for that blink to be up. Savage, can you get lucky with any bash? Melodic? No bash.
It's always going to be a thing. Zephyr is just standing here.
Uh-oh. Zephyr still not getting bashed. Savage. There we go. Finally comes in and they do get the bounty off. Meanwhile, Moon was chasing the Ogre, but it looks like he does TP out in time. However, top lane Raven was also in huge trouble, but he will TP back to the fountain. That may be the start of this T1 top tower push as Moon has connected.
As well as 23 Savage TPing up to this top side. Still no Chronosphere for the next 40 seconds. And
middle tower
well, I can somewhat understand Zephyr there not wanting to, you know, just maybe having his eyes off the map for a little bit because it's a void, right? Who leaves the lane that far and goes on a bit of an expedition?
Yeah, that is very, very true. We'll go ahead. Try and dish out that T1 damage. Carl is trying to do the same thing on that mid lane. He's popped the Elder Dragon form and just trying to get in range of that T1 to get some more chip damage going for himself. Of course, Whiteman's going to just fly past and get that Bloodlust off on the DK to help him out a little bit. It's a bit hard though with that living armor from the Treant, just constantly keeping that mid tower healed up and alive. And with Moon and Jabs around the area, I don't believe you're going to get through that T1.
No, they don't have too much left on this Elder Dragon form as well, so it feels like Zephyr's wasting his time a little bit. You can see he wants to make the rotation through to make something happen with this tome that he's just had delivered to himself, but even that's not going to be enough to reach his level 6.
Nice little escape there from Kuko.
What side?
There is going to be a bit of a bot lane push. Raven trying to TP out. Egg going to be committed. He does go down. The rotation's in from Geek Fam. Maybe it's too late. They do get a deny off on the Egg as well. A great play out from Moon. And now Zephyr, he'll be chased down. He does go down. Double now on the Ember. And, well, Whiteman, he gets a bounty placed, but doesn't leave him be. Meanwhile, the top lane Cuckoo gets a solo kill off onto 23 Savage, but he is going to die to Jabs, and now maybe Jabs will go down to Whiteman, who is going to chase him down.
Oh, he's using the fog so well.
He really is. Get the Ignite or the Fire Blast off in time. Jabs still fogging him out. Oh, that's beautiful play there from Jabs. You got to admit, though, a solo kill off onto 23 Savage, who won't be feeling too happy about that.
Whiteman again.
They do. The Melodic is there now with all the burn damage out from DJ, and Whiteman, there's just no way to survive this one. Bounty claim.
Realizing he's going to go down, you may as well get some spells off and do a little bit of damage, but it's not going to do all of that much. Some really great team play coming through from the bottom side of the map.
That they really are getting some stuff done here now and then. Well, Fnatic, they move back up top. That T1 tower is still standing. They wanted to try and take that out. They will. Savage will take care of it. They did also spot out the Fisher of Cuckoo, so see if they can lock him down, but he'll be fine to just walk away.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Meanwhile, Carl will run back into the mid lane. He does have that Elder Dragon form up, but you look at that mid tower, and it's just consistently been healed up by Ice. And while you might still get some decent damage up onto it, with Moon around, who also has the Maelstrom up, by the way, it seems like they're not even going to try.
No, they need to get this pick off onto Ice and then make a push for that, but it just seems like they haven't coordinated their cooldowns quite perfectly enough. DJ might be in a vulnerable position here if they get the Fisher off onto him.
Well, we got the Dragon Tail now with the Fisher flying out as well. DJ had a second to egg, but of course won't waste his time with that. Jab will TP up. However, bot lane, Zephyr does also die. So both hot scores being traded there. In the top of bot lane, Moon is 400 gold away from that Maelstrom as well now. And speaking of his Maelstrom, 23 Savage has his on the way. It's just on the courier.
Just have to think about where those kills happen though, right? You have DJ, who died right next to the Dire tier 2 tower, so the fact that he's there pushes away all of Geek Fam from an offensive play, and, well, on the bottom lane, Ice, he's got creeps pushing into the tower, they're losing out on farm because of it, valuable experience as well, and that graph's going to start ticking more and more in favor of Fnatic.
Moon gets summed up in the mid lane, but they won't have the control. Moon's just trying to skip that creep wave early and maybe apply some pressure onto that T1 tower. It's always a bit of a problem with the DK and you lose your T1 mid first. And that's what Fnatic's trying to achieve here. At least you'll have the Blink Dagger now on top of Carl, so there's plenty of initiation on this Dragon Knight available to go now.
Dude, they're getting a little bit unlucky again with the rune situation. I feel like Fnatic have just prayed to the Dota gods, and it's not even just today, it was yesterday that it was happening as well, so... Getting in right position to be able to snag up that power rune was Carl, but just the haste going on the top side means that we will bottle it up.
Savage stunned up, now the Echo, Cuckoo comes in, they just blow him up. Had no chance to get the chrono. Egg will explode, however, CJ turning back around to Wyman. Deathward is in place as well. Wyman will die. Now Cuckoo's in trouble. Moon is still there. They're trying to turn with all these stuns, but it may not be enough. Deathward is Sonic Wave. Moon still just trying to juke himself out of here. It will end up being a 2-for-3 trade. Moon just going to go ahead, reset, pick up his Maelstrom. Well, you defend that tier 1 mid tower if you're a Geek fan, but I mean, they got Savage.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good enough.
I don't think it is, because at any stage of the game, if you can get a full value Supernova off when it's only level 1, it's enormous, right? It's either because you've used it in a terrible spot, or because the coordination from your team has been good enough that you're actually able to position yourself properly. Two heroes that were trying to deal with it at the end, but not able to deal 5 right clicks.
Still has that chrono up now on Savage as well. He's never got to use it. So now, you've got to be consistently worried about when he wants to commit that chrono. The rest of Fnatic are actually just moving their way up to the top lane where they'll spot out Cuckoo again. Wyman's also going to be there to try and help him out if necessary. Now, won't make the dive in yet, but he has put a remnant out, so he wants to start chipping away at Cuckoo's HP. That Sleight of Fist does do a hell of a lot of damage already. Now Wyman's going to be in trouble. The Flame Guard is burning him out. He'll throw a Fire Blast there, but you've got Cuckoo just stuck in that tree line. Moon won't bother though. Does back off. He does have the rest of his team slowly making their way up to the top lane. Looks like they will just abandon that for now.
Farming it up. You've got this Meteor Hammer as well on Ice, who has been caught out a little bit, but no Eclipse just yet. It's only level 1 actually.
Eclipse is going to be used with the screen. They do secure the kill. Now once 4 heroes rotating down low, that means Cuckoo, he's been left alone. He'll get chained up through the TB plane, and now Moon will definitely just try and secure an easy kill. They do commit the edge, just in case Cuckoo had the damage. And with that, Ice actually buys back.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Protect that tier 1 tower. Look at all chat.
No, my tower, bro, please. They just can't get through one. Ice is on a mission to not give 1 tower away, apparently.
He's doing a good job. I think if there was any time to make a play happen, it's right now on Geek Fan. Got 40 seconds until this Elder Dragon form is available again, and probably in that time your Queen of Pain can have level 10. Something in that vein happen. The only thing you need to be mindful of right now is the Chronosphere. If you can dodge the Chronosphere, you're doing pretty well, because there's no overgrowth, Ice just bought back, Supernova just used. You can take not only bot tier 1 tower potentially, you can also make that rotation through mid if you are able to take out Ice with the additional buyback cooldown if he...
Geek Fan, we'll see if they try to set up for that. I still think they're a bit concerned about the chrono timing of Savage, because he does still have it ready to go. They may just not want to fight. I mean, I agree that it's probably the best time to go here onto that treant, but without Eclipse as well, it might be a bit dangerous.
I think you can, just because you're 2 levels ahead on Raven compared to this Faceless Void, so it's not level 2 Chrono just yet. I know it's not that big a difference between level 1 and 2, but you've also just finished your Manta Style on this Luna, so you can start to put some pressure on other areas of the map while you're taking the team fight, or you can just bring, those Manta Illusions to a team fight and perhaps pop it a little bit early, or rather than save it for an overgrowth, use it a lot more aggressively to counteract, for example, things like the Fire Spirits.
Actually a very good point.
There is nothing that can stop
We'll see what they do. They're only going to stick together. There's that Manta coming up now. Raven try and secure a bit more farm for the moment, but they might run into jabs here. It could be a nice easy pick up on the Witch Doctor, but no. Jabs will run out of range. It'll be fine. Fnatic, they'll actually smoke up there with Moon and Jabs in that mid lane, and they'll start pinging out their own outpost. Wyman is around the area, trying to steal the outpost away.
Hard to take him down, though, even with these two guys.
Moon gets in there with the flame guard, now to know this with the cast. Wyman, he is fairly tanky, but seems as though if you have the flame guard running with the Melodict, it's just going to burst him down eventually. We also have the blink out on Cuckoo. Now, I might add, that blink timing is sort of slower than a possible Earthshaker would get, unfortunately, for Cuckoo. Maybe because you did go into the treads and the soul ring.
Oh, they found out Savage here.
Sonic Wave, Echo, all being committed. Overgrowth not there in time. Tim's coming out. Now the media hammer from ISI Science just holding everyone in
Jabs
place.
is here.
Jabs is there with the cast. It's going to bounce very, very nicely in the Death Lord now. Jabs going to carry himself. Oh, he gets the kill. And now Zephyr, no chains, Moon. He missed. With that, still a 2-for-1 trade in the favor of Fnatic, and they'll just keep on pushing.
No Chronosphere being expended either. I don't think he even needed to pop that Echo Slam there. He was sitting real low, and with the pushback coming from the Sonic Wave, he had the time to wind up that Enchant Totem.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Now Fnatic, they'll just keep going. I don't think they're bothered.
Dire's
That
top
Chrono
tower
is going to be up. And Savage, he's right back to farming anyway. Doesn't really care to use the Chrono yet. Oh, maybe he does though. Cuckoo showed mid lane.
It was your own damn fault.
Radiant's bottom
No,
tower
Cuckoo will be
is under
under
attack.
At least now they can put some pressure onto this bot side of the map. They can cause them to lose some farm as the Manta Illusions. There's the TP out here from Ice as well. But he's like, oh sweet, free creeps.
Chrono out. Secure the kill onto Cuckoo. Nice easy kill to take. You've still got to be a little bit concerned about Raven, who is still at the top of the net worth board though on that Luna right now. That he's going to find Jabs. He does have the Eclipse. The rest of his team comes in. He pops the Eclipse of Moon. Going to be worth a fair bit of gold, but he does run it out in time. Still Raven wanting to chase him down to maybe get a last loose and beam off. But the cast will stop him in his tracks. Fnatic will be off for safety.
No Eclipse now for 2 minutes. He's gone the farm style of builder. Oh, they've seen Ice. Wow. He just overgrowths and runs away. He's very highly valuing his life right now because if you remember, he did use that buyback previously and being the loss of his precious tower on this bot side of the map.
I mean, you are completely nullifying the whole DK Ogre Luna concept by just doing this over and over again by Ice. So I can kind of see how important it is to him to just keep this up. Raven's going to try, but they just can't get through it. He's just being such a menace here. They haven't got one T1 tower. Now Zephyr's going to join in, but look at the side of Fnatic. They're smoked up, they're grouping in. They find Cuckoo. Cuckoo's going to be the first to have his blink cancelled off. He will get the Fisher there. Meanwhile, Raven being chased by Moon. It's going to be a big kill there. If Raven does go down, but he TP's out in time. That means Wyman will be the one to die. But they got what they wanted. They protected the T1 tower.
Very, very happy with it. Zephyr, he's cutting the wave. I'm liking this, making sure that you do need to pay a little bit more attention to that mid lane. They're trying to put some pressure on mid. Oh, the scent. Oh, no. Did you see that?
No, I didn't quite. What happened?
Oh, Carl blinks forward to get a stun onto 23 Savage, and, well, Zephyr's going to get taken down. And the Centaur Conqueror that was pulled from the camp just stuns him up just as he's about to cast that Dragon Tail.
That is really, really just unfortunate. Now it's going to be on top of Cuckoo. They've got the Spirit Vessel out, and more bounties are to be placed. Fisher is there, but the Flame Guard will just burn him. It's going to be a 19-9 now. 2k net worth lead to the side of Fnatic. Starting to feel like time is ticking here for Geek fam. Again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record. They still haven't got a 1T1 tower. And all this time, Savage has slowly been catching up to Raven. He's only about 200 gold behind them.
True. Ice continues to push that out, continues to heal up his tower. The Nature's Grasp damage just to be able to push it even faster, and it's looking a bit rough right now for Geek fam. You're not having quite the level of impact that you were hoping for in this position. Baker. It didn't really nullify 23 Savage's farm at all.
No, that it did not. Well, they're gonna look towards mid lane. Carl, already in that dragon form, it's about to wear off, but he's gonna go farm that creep wave up. You can't really take the fight if you are Geek fan, because there's a BKB and a Chrono up on Savage. They found Zephyr.
Dead.
Maybe we get the Ponty net, Cast as well. Yeah, he's definitely dead. Alright. I guess that kind of buys a bit of time here for Carl to pick up his own BKB. But now even Raven, Ice didn't even bother trying to throw the overgrowth out. Savage was running up with the Chrono if they wanted to commit, but it looks like they just want to try and go after maybe that bottom tier one.
Counter smoke coming through here. You're going to have Zephyr likely joining them. The outpost actually. It might telegraph a little bit of this movement, but
He's gonna find the witch doctor, but he's not gonna get it.
Nothing that can stop this man!
Easy kill for Geek fan, but not what they want with the 4-man smoke.
so they're going through onto mid now. Granted, they don't really know the fact that he doesn't have buyback available, but perhaps the play was to go for that bottom side of the map, make sure they could take out that tower, while it was actually a 4v5 situation.
I guess that is one way to do it.
But now you've got the potential for him to just respawn and join the team fight.
Yeah. They're gonna get started. More living armor coming out. Ice setting up that meteor hammer on the creep wave. Will deny that off. Now the fortify as well. They're gonna jump into the tree line. Carl's now
Gotta hit the tower.
They've got to hit the tower, absolutely.
And they're roshing.
They are roshing. So a tier 1 for a Roshan. What a trade from Fnatic.
They know. Scanned it.
They're hungry though. They don't have much time. It's going down quick. Sunray out as well. This escalates things quite a bit. They're not going to make it.
It's on the front lines, Carl, but his dragon form's about to go. Perfect use of the scan as well from Fnatic.
They're not going to be able to get in range. Now Carl's just in a very awkward position. Meteor hammer coming in. Chrono committed through the BKB. They get the Eclipse off. Sonic Wave as well. This could be a turning time for the side of Geek. They do get one in the form of jabs. 23 Savage, however, just manning up in that void. Now trying to run away. He does have the Aegis and will lose it. This is a great team fight now for Geek fan.
You've got Blink Dagger on Ice.
And Overgrowth with the Blink Dagger up the line. And now the Echo from Cuckoo. But it's not going to be enough. Or maybe it will be. They kill off the egg in time. It will not explode. So now can they capitalize? Moon is still chasing. He'll go after Cuckoo. Should be able to find him. No. Zephyr trying to help. They get the Dragon Tail. They will kill off the Ember. But now Ice and DJ trying to turn around here onto Carl. Nature's got grasp with the Spirit Vessel. Not going to be quite enough. And somehow Geek fan make that team fight work in their favor.
Yeah, just picking out Savage at the start of that, and, well, there's the advantage of having the Manta style available. Combination, you saw it coming from a mile away with that Blink Dagger usage, catching onto 4 with the Overgrowth, but
double damage.
Just still on his own, and you're still able to do damage in a team fight as this Luna right-clicking away at an egg. It's enough to deal with it while it's bullet 200 gold.
Nice. Do you get concerned here for Fnatic? Like, does the Luna really combat the Void once we get into that late game?
Don't really matter quite as badly. And well, he's getting closer. Wait, actually, sorry, he's picked up his Elder Dragon form now with the Aghanim Scepter.
Zephyr will die.
Going to be a few situations where you're pushing in onto towers, and you just have to do something to start the team fight. And you probably don't want it to be the Chronosphere, but it's going to get to the point where it kind of has to.
Yep, that's fair.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Fnatic just keeping grouped up, but they are definitely feeling like they may have lost the momentum this game. With that Aghanim Scepter now on Carl, he definitely wants to try and start a team fight if he can. They are, of course, yet to take that mid-tier 1 tower, so perhaps that's where they're headed. Savage getting ready with that Mjolnir now. He's going to be able to even split push just with that active. Looks like Fnatic just aren't interested at all to take another team fight. They're just going to play the map. Yeah. I think that's fair enough, because you've got Savage who just doesn't have enough farm yet.
He doesn't, and not even just farm, but experience as well. The Luna 4 ahead of him. He's got his level 12 talent. It's gone for the Lucent Beam damage. It's good for being able to interrupt a lot of this stuff that Fnatic might be trying to go for. Lucent Beam cooldown reduction as well, rather than trying to speed up his farm just with that extra movement speed or right-click damage. So having... what out, Jabs?
Yeah, goes in on Jabs. They're going to try and help him push Doctor around, but now you've got Whiteman there with the follow-up, and Carl, he wants to keep going.
That is a big dragon.
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge dragon, in fact, with the BKB. Moon in huge trouble as well. He's trying to run it out, but the Fire Master's out now with the Dragon Tail, but they can't get through the HP of Moon. Savage was there just in case they need the Chrono, but they're looking to come back in. Carl, it's not over yet. He goes back after Jabs, maybe no. Yeah, he does. He wants to die back on that +5 Witch Doctor. Fire Spirit is going to help him out, but Cuckoo is going to be there with the Fisher. Now the tip's flying out. Poor old Jabs. He will die. And Raven wants another, but they're going to go after that T1 tower.
They need towers. I think they would view it as a bit of a, not a failure, but if they're not able to get at least 2 towers from this push with no Supernova, no Witch Doctor for the next minute, it's a little bit worrying for Geek Fan, but they've definitely got a stranglehold in this game.
Worthy tribute.
Love to see it here from Geek Fan. Fnatic going to find a way back into this game. They're looking at Carl mid. As he has the Overgrowth Meteor Hammer, but Carl has friends around.
He's got friends, and he's got that BKB, and he's got a little bit of luck as well, having obviously gone for the cooldown reduction talent and picking up a quickening charm for himself. So it's only about a 25-second downtime on that Elder Dragon form.
Oh, geez. Very balanced, Stella?
Well, you know, that's a bit of an OS frog.
Now going to start going through backdoor protection. Split will be forced down as the creep wave does come in, but they're going to tank through with that creep wave. They'll grip themselves as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
And
attack.
finally, these towers are no longer an issue here. Ice still desperately trying to keep them up. But you just can't any longer. The damage output is way too high. They'll smoke.
I really like this a bit more teamfight-oriented talent build coming. Savage, they're going to be able to find out Moon here potentially with the Blink initiation.
Dragon Tail, no, it was on a creep. Yeah, he tried to get through after the Sleight of Fist, but it's a hard stun to land if you've got to deal with that kind of Ember.
I think it was just luck again. The fact that he did use the Sleight of Fist just as he went in for the stun. He didn't know. He had no idea that TK was coming.
True.
Oh, actually, did he? They've got this really deep ward. So perhaps it was just some really solid plays coming through there. They found him.
Going for the fire blast. They have found him finally. Sonic Wave comes out. Fisher there as well. Overgrowth as well, just really trying to survive this, but he will not. Tips will start flying out now from Geek Sam, and are they going to go for a T3 tower?
See here, he's dead for 85 seconds. Like I was talking about before, that buyback extra death timer was not expended up until this point. He's been alive for a good 12 minutes or so. So if he buys back and dies again, how are you supposed to defend these towers?
Good question. But now, anyway, they're actually going to try and take down Zephyr. Carl TP'd up to the top lane. You've still got Raven around the area on that Luna. So they are willing to fight back. They've even got the Echo there with Cuckoo still around. Savage not committing Chrono. Moon's in trouble. He needs to get out of there. Cuckoo still just trying to jump in on the jab. Egg gonna be dropped as well. Carl will be back around trying to deal with the Echo. No, they're gonna abandon that, but Savage goes for the Chrono now. Onto the Luna. Can he take down Raven? He is a bit tankier than expected, and now he pops the Satanic. Will be fine. He'll just work through it. Savage needs to run. They set him up again. Cuckoo's in there. Still has the Echo as well. Will finally committed now. Savage still trying to time walk out. Looks like he should be okay. But they did lose the team fight, and well, I playing back in the middle of all that. He even tells them, I've got no buyout.
There is nothing that can stop this man!
Well, Geek Fam, they're going high ground.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah,
under
I think
attack.
they're well aware he's got no buyout and no ultimates as well available for anyone on Fnatic's side. The only one that just hasn't come up is Ice, and he's in the grave for the next minute.
Dire's
I don't
middle
blame him. You've got that Bradley form up. You can take these tier 4s really quick.
Radiant's
Savage
middle
doesn't have
tower is
Chrono
under
either.
attack.
It's going to be a very, very hard defense. You can't ask the question, how do you defend this? Well, they're going to try. Jumping on Carl, pop the BKB, now Savage goes in onto Wyman. Google's there with the Bishop. A great Sonic wave out. Will kill off Jazz. Carl still working towards DJ, but he will dive away. Stone BKB trying to fight back on the end, but no, Savage, he's gone down. He will have to buy back. But now they're Ancient, about to be exposed. Raven is still just concentrating on the objective. Meanwhile, they jump on the beats again. DJ's falling very, very low. He has no way out of this. He will go down. Savage pops the BKB, fighting back up against Carl. They do kill off Zephon, the Queen of Pain, but he'll also fight back. And now Geek fam back into the Ancient. They aren't giving up quite yet. Fnatic, I don't know how you defend this any longer. They'll keep trying though. Savage time walks, but he does get stunned up. Now very, very low. Savage does fight back.